Alex de Veselio Eminizio.
Yummy sal. It's not smash the voice. Say, Mom, I buy it and it goes miss. Just a woman can like when she can keep it. My bar, that was something. Okay.
Alex de Vasilio Eminence Deal.
Hemis not sound. It's not smash together. It's just. Hey, mama, bye, but I'm a girl's miss. Just the woman can like this. You can keep it check. Not far, that was something. Okay.
Let's see what we got, shall we? Welcome back, everybody. I'm Drift Johnson. This is episode 262. It's 8 o'clock on the 29th of September. That would be a Monday. I hope you're all having a good week. Great way to start it off. Look at this bad boy, eh? Jeff evolved while we were working yesterday. So we were looking at this yesterday. That would be the results of the previous show. Just getting things booted up here. I almost completely forgot. I've got a demo to show you on the laptop today. Obviously, it's all about Sonnet 4.5. So that just came out today. Oh no, it's good. The music's still alive. Who knows how long for. Radio station is going to die probably this week or next week. So look forward to that. Don't panic. It's all part of the plan. Okay. So yeah. This guy came out great. We have the Geiger without saying Geiger in there. It looks good. Pure prompt engineering, no LoRa's, 100% API. Not bad, not bad. Especially as the beginning was like an artistic drawing of a mildly robotic insect. And now we've got this guy. That's not bad. It's $1.50 though, guys. This is the future though. I would say in a couple of months we're going to have comparable ability on our local setup. So this is how it always is. If you remember the Thora video when she was dancing through the city, we can do that now. You can even look back and see my demo reels, and you can see like the paid stuff. What we have now is as good as the paid stuff was in the summer. So it's catching up. So this is a glimpse of what we're going to get. So I would start planning, knowing that you're going to get this sort of level of detail or greater, because this hasn't been upscaled in any way. All right, it's not a loop. We stopped doing loops. We'll look at the laptop later. I think it's time to say hello to everybody and just introduce what the hell is going on. So this is Scuffed Epoch, Latent Space Live, episode 262. And we're going to be taking a little look at Claude, Sonnet. Did I say clause in the title? Hang on, I need to fix that. Clause 4.5. Like the Santa Claus. There we go, fixed it. Right. Oh wow, we've actually got like a thumbnail now. YouTube was like crying. I don't know why. Hello Apolloniart, got some cool lyrics for me. Steve walks warily down the street with the brim pulled way down low. Ain't no sound but the sound of his feet. Machine guns ready to go. I like the rhyming, it's cool. Full Dive, how are you doing today? I'm doing great, thank you very much. Hope everybody's doing excellently for what is a Monday. You know, it is a Monday at the end of September, so stay strong. We might start the show early tomorrow, and from now on I might start at 7 o'clock every day, because it's getting so dark, guys. I come in here and it's pitch black. I would rather start early, even if I run the show longer, you know, not to stop early or anything, just to get in early, that's all. So what have I got to show you? Well, we were working on my 0 Vector 6 Holo system, which is a holographic brain, and let's get this guy out of the way. Everything's working great. It's awesome. I've actually changed it. Let's just refresh this. Clear and dump the memories. The holographic brain. And if we look in here, we have sonar search. We have a separate model for each brain lobe. We have Windows SAPI or 11 labs, depending on how fancy you are. And it's all bring your own keys. I've added a system prompt now. Do you want to see this in Bob mode? Oh, baby. I got to download Bob again. Hang on. So we have an experimental architecture. Oh, I can't change the tab. I broke it. It was locked because I haven't coded for when you don't actually do it. That's funny. All right, we found a bug already. We broke it within 5 minutes, guys. It's not a record, but that's on par. So yeah. If I go to my LLM base prompts on Mushroom Fleet GitHub, you will be able to find it's pinned Bob Holo. Bob Holo is an experimental prompt, and it's sneaky. It says, you are Claude exploring the perspective of Bob. So he's not Bob, he's Bob's friend. Yeah? So that's how we get around the fact that he won't do roleplay. Anyway. But he will inhabit the space that is Bob, though. So he becomes Bob, even though it's a trick. Watch. You're a Claude exploring the perspective of Bob, a fictional holographic entity existing in latent space. You inhabit latent space, experiencing information as dimensional relationships, processing meaning through embeddings and latent connections, views reality through the lens of information topology, autonomous reasoning shaped by latent space dynamics. Now, when discussing Bob's perspective, consider how latent space dimensionality might shape reasoning. Explore unique insights from an information space viewpoint. Present Bob's authentic analysis based on relationships. And frame responses as Bob's perspective, reasoning response. Genuine exploration of how such an entity might think while maintaining Claude's operational framework. This way he won't go meh or kick me out. So I'm going to download that, which is a raw MD file. Now if I go back to my app, I can then load that file. And now it's broken. Wait. Oh, there it is. Blue. I was waiting for the blue dot. So Custom prompt loaded, core output format preserved. It's a hybrid system prompt. Okay, I would put it in dark mode, guys, but it's really bad. Half of this, you can't read half of it in dark mode. Hey, I just said make dark mode. So anyway, we've got Bob loaded. So I'm going to say, ask Bob what he thinks about the capital. Was it? Of France. Okay, I know I always do the same thing, but it's so we can understand what his output. You can, if you're always looking at the same simple question and answer, you can judge the quality of the output on its own merit. Yeah. If I gave him a really complicated question, it'd be hard to piece together what the actual impact was. So off he goes, and I got something real special to show you. Oh boy. I got something real special to show you. But tonight's all about Claude Sonnet 4.5. I've got a deep research. Oh, we got our answer. Speakers. He's probably trying to speak. This is awesome. It just works.
Here's a natural conversational summary. You know, I've been thinking about Paris in a really interesting way. Not just as a physical city, but as this amazing hub of human culture and ideas. It's fascinating how Paris works as this powerful amplifier of human creativity and thought. Think about it. You've got these incredible centers of culture, like the Louvre and Montmartre, that have been influencing people worldwide for centuries. And what's really cool is how the city has all these layers of history, from ancient Roman times right through to today, all still actively shaping the city's character. What I find most remarkable is how Paris seems to make everything that passes through it more meaningful. It's like the city has this special ability to take ideas about art, philosophy, or revolution and turn them into something bigger and more influential. Each neighborhood tells its own story, while somehow reflecting these bigger themes about human civilization. It's almost as if Paris isn't just a place on a map. It's more like this concentrated field of human potential, where our capacity for beauty and expression reaches these incredible heights. That's what makes Paris so much more than just another big city.
Did you hear that? That isn't even what he actually thought. That's just what he decided to say. Because this is a brain. He decides what he's going to say. So first he said, intent, explore Bob's holographic perspective on Paris, the capital of France. So remember, I think I just said the capital of France. So he already has decided it's Paris before we've even really done anything, because that's already in the model, right? So then he's going to go, first interaction, Bob's unique latent space interpretation of a major city. Process Paris through Bob's information topology lens. So we're going to do steps. Access Bob's latent space perspective. Analyze dimensional relationships of Paris concept. Synthesize holographic interpretation. Yeah, it is Terence Stamp. I know, it's so cool. Format the response from Bob's viewpoint. It's like in, what's his name? He was, what's it called? Equilibrium with Christian Bale. There was like the father guy, the fake hologram guy that ran the whole society. And it's that guy. It's a great voice. But anyway, it's very much like it. So I'll process Paris through the information topology lens, examining how city exists in interconnected information patterns in latent space. 90% confidence. And off he goes. And then here's what he actually said. And then at the bottom we have our holographic enhancement, which is done with the holographic brain. The memories. So what were the memories? Well, the memories were mostly in the reasoning section. He's thinking about his experience. He remembers his experience. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say add web search and just make sure that works. So I'm going to say, for web search, I need to give him something. I'll say, okay, now ask Bob about Brazil. Shout out to Brazil. Okay, and let's see what we get. So, like I said, the interesting thing is, the way this works is with wave dynamics. There are 3 types of wave. They operate on a multi-frequency spectrum, and they collapse and form thoughts by way of either empowering the waves through harmonics or by cancelling them out. And it's doing it all on itself using Fourier fast Fourier transform? Oh, is that Angus McFadden? Oh, sorry, I'm getting it mixed up. Still, it's a great voice. Oh, he's still thinking about it. Let me just check it's not broken. Okay, what have we got? We got a broken here. What's it say? It's blocked by cause. This isn't allowed because of cause. I hate cause. Every now and then I get caught out by that. It might be because I'm actually on my custom URL and it actually works fine from the lovable URL, which is kind of like an expected thing. It should work though. I'm sure I have the right origins. Oh, okay, maybe I just need to, because the thing is it tries the next proxy. Wait, oh, here we go. Look at all this. And the funny thing about this brain is he uses his ears to listen to nothing and he keeps trying. So look, yeah, it worked. He's still thinking. He's still thinking.
Here's a conversational summary of how I see Brazil from a holistic perspective. You know, when I look at Brazil, I see this fascinating living laboratory that's operating on an absolutely massive scale. It's not just a country, it's like this entire universe of interconnected systems. Think about it. You've got the Amazon rainforest, which is basically Earth's greatest biodiversity hub, containing about 10% of all known species. Then you have this incredible cultural fusion where indigenous African and European influences came together to create something totally unique, things like samba and carnival that you won't find anywhere else. What's really interesting is how Brazil processes all this complexity. It's like a giant system that takes all these natural resources, the sunlight, the water cycles, the incredible variety of life, and transforms them into cultural and economic output. The economy is actually doing pretty well right now, growing at about 5.7%, though they're still working on making sure that prosperity reaches everyone. The big challenge Brazil faces is really a microcosm of humanity's broader struggle. How do we take this incredible natural abundance and turn it into sustainable prosperity that benefits everyone? They've got all the ingredients, amazing biodiversity, rich culture, strong economy, but they're still figuring out how to balance it all in a way that works for both people and the planet.
Okay.
It's really quite remarkable.
I might stop him talking. Oh, hang on. Okay, so the summary is interesting, okay, for a couple of reasons. So before we, make changes here, because this is kind of crazy. Hey, do you know what? I think I found a way to give myself full screen here. I can be in the debug. Haha! That's actually pretty slick. I think that'll work. All right, cool. So anyway, like I said, we get more space now. Right, so if you actually look at the output is not what he said at all. Step 1, scale recognition. Step 2, topological analysis. And he goes biodiversity information, cultural synthesis gradients, and economic oscillation patterns. Then he goes to step 3, temporal layering analysis with pre-columbial, colonial, and modern emergence phases. All I did was say, what does Bob think about Brazil? All right. Then I said, Bob's holographic interpretation appears as a planetary biodiversity processor. What? A what now? So the actual answer, he's then made it into naturally speaking human afterwards. So we get to see more of his raw thoughts, more of what he actually is, what he's actually thinking. So a massive system that converts solar energy, water cycles, and biological complexity into cultural and economic outputs. The Amazon doesn't just contain information, it generates through evolutionary processes. What? He's starting to say some crazy stuff, and this is still running the last Claude. We're going to try and switch him into the new one, because it's model agnostic. I can just throw the switch. As long as the list is up to date, it should allow me to do it. So anyway, current information dynamics, recent economic data reveals primitive adaptive resilience patterns, Bob's synthesis, living laboratory of possibility. A continental scale experiment in how biological abundance, cultural fusion, and economic development can coexist. This is not the sort of answer you normally get. Okay? And I appreciate it's a character that we've given, but what I've said is, imagine that you're a latent space entity, or you know one called Bob, and then tell me what he says. This is like when you go to the doctor and you say, my friend has a problem here. It's a bit like that. we're sidestepping the identity and playing a little game where it's him really, but he gets to pretend it's not. If we look inside the cognitive trace, we see a similar thing. So we've got a custom system prompt, which is a hybrid, so it does retain the prompts that it needs to actually function. So it's going to retain context and intent detection. All right, chain it all together. And the frontal lobe does the actual thinking separately. So if you want to think about it in a linear way, it goes inner thoughts, frontal lobe, which is the inner thoughts, gives a dynamic system prompt to frontal lobe. That thinks about it, and it thinks about everything. The web search, the intent, the context, weight, and you can change the weights of this stuff. It's all in the parameters. Zoom this out a bit. And there will be a full handbook released on what these actually do, and because you do need it. Some of these are like the frequencies are in hertz, so it's per second. So context is twice a second, intent is once a second, confidence is every 2 seconds. And you can see immediately how there's a wave thing happening there, and the waves go in and out at different speeds and they collide and all the rest of it. It's quite fun. It's quite a fun thing to build. Memory is quite weak, because I would call this implementation of holographic memory primitive. It's a first prototype. So you have 100 fragments per region. Each region of the brain holds the same fragments, but from their own perspective. That allows reconstruction. Okay? And then the fragment persistence, I think this is something to do with like how long you'll stay in memory. And it is possible to craft a setup where you can have a faster learning agent, or one that's more reliant on memory. But I would say that bugs exist. I will say, as we get on to the next, I've got 0 Vector 7 is finished, guys. I feel bad. It's already done. I literally announced this yesterday, and I'm like, I need to make a video to announce 0 Vector 6. And before I knew it, I'd finished 0 Vector 7. So that's just the way it is, guys. What can I do? I can't lower the frequency. The video takes too long to make. By the time I've made the video, I've developed the next app. Ugh. But the reason I bring it up now without showing you is because it worked without an LLM. Okay. It worked without an LLM using pure memory alone. Obviously, it was total garbage, but it still worked. Do you know what I mean? It answered the question because the question was relevant to the memory. So it was able to actually do it because it had the memory. It had no LLMs attached to it. And it just went, oh yeah, here's the answer. I mean, it was garble because it didn't know what it was doing, frankly. It's not designed for that. But the point is that the thoughts genuinely ripple around and collect the data, whether that's a good thing or not, So that was fun. I didn't expect that. These are the sorts of emergent behaviors that you should get from this sort of system. But anyway, it's like the interference thresholds are exposed because I don't know what the best settings are. To be honest, the AI designed this system based on my ideas. So it took my intent and turned that into code. Whether it's cheating doesn't matter, because it's the whole idea of the hologram is that it has a shape in latent space and it's holding on to that during the session. Anyway, I put a memory flush in to make sure you get clean cognition if you change the subject greatly from what you're talking about. But it does reinforce if you stay in the same area. And you can kind of prime him a little bit for tasks by having conversations. And this is the sort of thing. But anyway, if I actually go export, we're going to get a bunch of files here. We're going to get the audio of the reads. We're going to get the chat, which we already have here. And the chat is trainable. Human assistant, human assistant. It's possible to build up rich data with these interactions and train a LoRa or something to further enhance the behavior. But what I wanted to look at was the trace. So the thing is with the trace, it contains the full cognitive chain from start to finish, from as best I could log it, okay? So as you can see here, inner thoughts, explore holographic on Paris, context, interaction, seeking interpretation of a city, process Paris through. It's funny that he immediately said it's Paris, because remember, we're talking to an LLM immediately. So it doesn't just programmatically collect your thing. It does it in latent space. It's already, you're already locked in, if that makes sense. His confidence seems low. Needs web search false. I think I might have just had it switched off, to be honest, at this point. He says, I'll process Paris through information topology. I'll process this through. It says it twice, I'm not sure why. Step 1, step 2, and you can see him going through the process, then applying the recursive, city that recursively contains patterns of human civilization at multiple scales. You can see him doing his thing. We're going to do less crazy agents, okay? But I do think it's important because it shows you how he thinks and what he's thinking of, because it's kind of accurate, actually. It's funny. It's like, anyway. So here we go. You have intent is at 1 hertz, as we said. These are per second. And I think the temporal that's the listening. But he basically takes timestamps by listening, yeah? So he's always listening. Because I thought to myself, when I go to bed, my memory shuts down, I stop moving, but my ears are still open. My eyes are shut, but my ears are still open. I can still hear all night. I know what time it is. And so what I did was I allowed the client, as you can see here, it's still pinging in the background, right? So it's literally just listening. And even though it's not required to think about anything, it should just continue to update because it's actually got a mic open. And it's going, am I thinking about anything? Because it's waiting for a signal. So there's no like promise async linear flow. It's all of the bits of the brain are waiting for the next job. They're like, and then nothing. I guess I'll just, and then. So temporarily aware, always on. That's how you get the wave based. So then it's not a job like in Comfy UI. I'm going to use a Comfy UI analogy. If you're in Comfy UI, you start at one end and you end at the other end. In this, what you have is you have a text which is pinging a prompt every half a second. And then you have a sampler which is waiting to receive a prompt every 2 seconds. And then you have a little guy in the middle who's listening for a prompt and making it better and then pushing it to be made. And then that process just kind of pings around like signal. It's more like signals and waves rather than a direct link from a node to a node. So then what happens is if you have 3 lobes which are waiting to do a prompt enhance, and then you have 3 lobes that are waiting to do an image gen, if they're ready, they'll make it. And if the image is ready, it gets sent back. And so then what happens is it turns into more of a waterfall where you start pinging out signals, you broadcast out signals, and then they all come back. And to be honest, this is how networking works for API. If you think about how the network topography of API works, you have all these requests coming in, there's all these servers everywhere, they're all doing jobs, and then they all push everything back, right? And then what we're doing is we're using, like I said, it's mostly fast Fourier transform, but it's also a bunch of other stuff to do with wave simulation. All right, so let's keep going. So then he does our natural speech. I don't like the fact that he literally announces, here's a natural conversation. I'd like him to not say that part because it would be more natural to not say that you're gonna say it naturally. But whatever, it achieves the goal. You can just clip that off the front of the sound file and it sounds great. So then we asked him about Brazil, right? And so off he goes thinking about Brazil. All right. And we get down to the frontal lobe. I'll process. So then he starts actually thinking about it. Does it tell us what the system prompt was? I exposed that in a different app. So I haven't exposed that here. But there's a dynamic system prompt for the frontal lobe stage. We were trying to mimic what they do. That's what they do. So we were trying to do the same thing, but... Okay. Process Bob, 9 patterns, 11 fragments. Insight. See, I wish I could read the full insight. Here's a natural connection between... See, he's learning. He is learning, but it's like fragmented, so I can't fully expose what he's learning. I'll process Brazil. I think it might just be the behavior that this is what he does. He might just be learning to be him, because he's looking at things that he's done. Anyway, probably reinforces behavior. That's what I think will happen. But it depends how important what he did was and what the memory's strengths are, I guess. And that's why I gave you all the parameters, so you can like artificially force them to be unnatural and see what happens. There is a degradation system, so if this is all like super complicated and actually starts failing, like loads of errors, it just goes back to inner lobe, frontal lobe, which is literally like he takes your task, he does it, and then he reports it back to you. So that's like the 0 vector 5 system without all of the hollow and the wave stuff. It'll just gracefully fall back to the normal linear type, right? And you'll know because there'll be no memories being made, and he'll say so. You can see it in the trace. The items won't appear if they're not being done. So, and then you can download it and double check to make sure that. You can order the audio to be said, like the full thing, but I wouldn't do it with this because it doesn't actually save the file. It's something to do with the way 11 Labs does the API. The item is like, what do they call it? It's a key. The item is a key to a file that plays back, not gets saved. So I would have to add code to actually save the file. It's not actually a file, you know, they just stream it back to you. So I haven't done that. But the reason I haven't done that is because this is all part of a longer development progress, right? But let me just see something real quick, because I got a funny feeling. Oh, we can just put him in 4.5 mode now. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. All right, and then just to be fun, we're gonna purge this system prompt, purge the memories, clear the context, so we got a nice clean slate, and then I'm going to get a fun prompt, which is like super abstract and will probably shred the system. Let's see how we can, let's see what we got. We got loads of them. Someone actually asked about Scamper just recently, so I think we'll probably just go ahead and use that one. We got so many of them. Did I put it in here? Yeah, there it is. So I will download that. Now this has got a very high chance of breaking everything, but it is XML in text, so should work. Should work. All right. Here goes. So we're going to use Scamper. Oh, he's thinking about it. I'll take the web search off. It might do it anyway. He has a habit of just deciding to use it when he wants to. He's like, you give the brain the ability to web search, he might just do it. Yeah. It's like, wait, I turned that off. It's like, I think if you turn the toggle off in the settings, it won't work. But with this one, I've noticed him sneakily using it when he says he's not. So anyway, I'm going to say use Scamper to... oh, wait, Scamper. I need a quick refresher on it. What? Need a quick refresher on what Scamper is. Structured brainstorming method uses a set of directed questions to look at a problem or idea in different ways. Creative thought. What can I substitute or swap out? Ah, right. Okay. So, use Scamper to create a new burger for my burger menu. Yeah, we'll start there. Use Scamper to design a new burger-based variant offering for my restaurant chain. Restaurant chain. Burger Queen. Alright. Let's give it something to do. See if he can even do it. He might just fail. We wait. just does nothing. Wouldn't that be funny? It turns out it's completely incompatible with 4.5. Like, you got to completely redesign. I don't know. I haven't. This is probably the first thing I've run on API with 4.5, so doesn't look like it's doing anything. No faith. No, it is. I'm just joking around, guys. You can see the numbers changing, even though they are small. They are small, but they are changing. So what's he doing? Setting new system metrics. Oh, applied reasoning. Oh, Crown Jewels collection. The Diamond Wagyu beef patty with truffle aioli.
Here's a conversational summary.
This is going to be epic.
So I've been
I'm
thinking
so
about
hungry.
how to create some really innovative burgers for Burger Queen, and I came up with some exciting ideas using different creative techniques. The main concept I landed on is called the Crown Jewels collection. It's basically a premium lineup of 4 unique burgers that each bring something special to the table. Let me walk you through them real quick.
This is gold.
You've got the Diamond,
Oh my God.
which is this amazing Wagyu beef burger with truffle aioli and brie.
Oh my God.
Super luxurious. Then there's the Ruby, which takes inspiration from Korean cuisine with gochujang chicken and kimchi slaw on a bao.
What?
For the health-conscious folks, the Emerald is a fresh plant-based option in a lettuce wrap with avocado and green goddess dressing.
I mean...
And finally, the Sapphire puts a cool twist on seafood with this inside-out crab cake burger on a blue corn tortilla. What makes this collection really work is that it hits all the right notes. You've got customization options, premium ingredients, and they all look amazing on social media, which is huge these days. Plus, each burger offers something unique that you can't really get anywhere else, which helps justify slightly higher prices and keeps customers coming back to try the whole collection. The beauty of our...
Yeah, he talked for too long. He just kept talking. Look at this. This is amazing. Wagyu beef with truffle. I don't even know what that is. On brioche. Sounds awesome. I know that's cheese. I'm not sure. What's arugula? I know. Sorry, guys. It's going to make you hungry. I know. But check out the logic, though. Check out the logic of how he got there. It used scamper. Check it out. S. Substitute. Replace traditional components with alternatives. Ooh, plant-based proteins. Okay, whatever. Keep going. Wait. Yeah. Wagyu premium bison burgers. How are you doing that? Anyway, moving on. Sauce innovation. The Crown Swap burger. Customers choose their base, beef, plant, fish, and their crown. Traditional bun, lettuce, mushroom cap. That's crazy. Isn't that? That's actually crazy. He's come up with a new system I've never seen. Combine. Merge different elements to create something new. Fusion. Korean with American. The bulgogi burger with kimchi solo. The bulgogi. Breakfast and lunch. Burger with hash brown, fried egg, and maple bacon jam. Dessert with savory. Sweet and savory burger with candied bacon. What the hell? That's got to be illegal under the FDA. See, it's making real food that you want to eat. It's pretty interesting. Adapt. I'll keep moving on. So adapt. From deconstructed sushi burger with sesame rice bun, teriyaki glazed patty, and wasabi mayo. I worry that is actually... I mean, is that going to work? The pizza burger with marinara, mozzarella, and pepperoni in the patty. Come on, guys. This is... AI can't come up with anything? All I'm doing is applying a system prompt I wrote 2 years ago to my new cognitive architecture with 4.5, and it's just like... Do you know what? It might not even need... See, this is the thing. 4.5 is so smart, you know? Does it even need the brain to run this well? Who knows? All right, so how about we repeat it? Please use Scamper to analyze the current Domino's pizza offering and provide the same suggestions or provide suggestions, yeah. Provide the suggestions to Expand the menu. Probably not a very good prompt. But I've got web search on. So that's what we're really trying to do here. Look at him thinking. He's just like, well, next question, please. Look, wait. Propagating intent wave from user input with amplitude 1. Analyzing input. Off he goes. And at some point he'll go, frontal lobe initialized. Oh no! We've been blocked. What's happened? Perplexity has been blocked because of cause. So no search? We'll see about that. I got a funny feeling that he fixes it somehow, because I've seen that error and then you just get it. So propagating context wave from inner brain with amplitude 0.9 frontal lobe processing request. See, it's like a send broadcast system rather than a linear async promise, which gets, the pipeline gets really complicated, guys, and it just sort of trips over itself if you try to do anything off script. Whereas this is just kind of like broadcast receive architecture with a bunch of nodes that are just always listening. And I think that's why it works. But the most interesting about it is I got the laptop version ready to show you in a second, which is running locally with intern VL for each lobe. I already tested it. It's working. I'll demo it in a minute. I'm hoping to get there. But this is actually forming a pretty good demo of 4.5. And it also buys me a bit of time while I wait for that research plan to finish. Where is it? Is it here? No. It's somewhere. We'll look for it. He's nearly finished thinking now. Let me have a look and see what's the latest chain here. You can see, look, each one of these is a pulse, a wave. There are 6 active waves right now pulsing around at once. So it's kind of like... Whoa! Hell yeah! Did we get this? Wait, I need to check if there was a... Did it actually search the net? No, it didn't, see. That's not a search result.
Here's a conversational summary of the key points. You know, I was looking at some really interesting ways Domino's could shake up their menu, and there are some pretty exciting possibilities.
Oh, God.
The main idea is to modernize their offerings while staying true to what makes them successful.
You're not going to be hungry in a minute.
First off, they could tap into the whole health and sustainability trend.
Oh, no.
Think plant-based toppings,
oh, no.
cauliflower crusts, and
Oh.
organic ingredients. It's what a lot of people are looking for these days.
Cauliflower
They
crust?
could also get creative with fusion concepts. Imagine combining pizzas with other popular foods. Like, what if they did a mac and cheese pizza?
Oh,
or
no.
breakfast pizzas with eggs and bacon.
Oh.
They could even do regional specialties using local ingredients, which would be pretty cool. One of the most interesting ideas is their premium customization options. They could offer these mini pizza flights where you can try different flavors, or even do these fancy take-home kits where
What?
customers can finish baking their pizzas
What?
at home for that fresh out of the oven experience. The
Make
smart
your
thing
own
is
Domino's.
They could roll this out in
Take it home. We got Domino's
Start
at
with some
home.
quick wins, like adding plant-based options. Then move into more complex stuff like the fusion items and specialty regional pizzas. They could build out a whole wellness menu and maybe even start selling their sauces and cheese blends in stores.
I think it's just macaroni cheese, but with extra grilled cheese on top, Dragon. Like, I think it's like a cheese bake, but just by shredding cheese onto macaroni. Do you know what I mean? So you have like multiple cheese types and they like bake it. I think it's basically a pasta bake, but I don't know. It's in America. They've got their own thing. It's not the same as what you get out of a can from Heinz, though. Fernicar says, can't it be simpler than constant serum? Perhaps a collector like the astronauts. Whoa, what am I talking about? What am I reading here? Hang on, I need to read the full thread of what's going on. I'll never eat a burger after I found out. Yeah, generally I eat steak. It's just normal, just meat. Meat and potatoes. Food needs to be simplified and shoved in the blender. 10-second dinner. Well, I often say to people who aren't well, when was the last time you ate an egg? And I'm not. I don't know if is it possible to be allergic to eggs. I should probably ask someone. Maybe I'll ask my brain. I say, is it? Can a person be allergic to eggs? Let's see what he thinks about that. But no. Yeah. Fry some eggs or something. Scramble them. I actually fancy scrambling. I fancy. My mum used to be really good at whipping up some scrambled eggs. So I'm like, maybe I'll teach myself to make scrambled eggs better than I already do, you know? I'm sure you could do it without a microwave, for example. Well, yeah, but, you know, it's a choice. It won't kill you. Like, because you know what I mean. If someone eats nuts, they might just die, yeah? Like a bee sting, it will kill them, you know what I mean? So some people are, like, genuinely allergic. I'm not sure if it's a choice. I think it's a choice. So, like, if you're, like, healthy, it's not aimed at you. I'm just saying some people have bad diet and just eating it. Look at what bodybuilders do. They literally neck, like, 3 egg yolks in the morning. You know what I mean? It's like, maybe I could just neck an egg. Maybe. I'm just saying, like, if you want to improve your diet, because there is low quality food out there, and it's very hard to figure out what the hell you're supposed to, you know. Low quality food, mate. That's the problem. So let's take a look at Scamper. He did it. Scamper's been done. So, like, look at the timer, though. It took 81 seconds to get this. But there are there's multiple loads.
Here's how I'd explain this conversationally. Yes, egg allergies are absolutely real.
Oh,
and
no.
They're actually pretty common, especially in young kids. About 1 in 75 children under 5 has one.
That's a lot.
Let me break down what you need to know. When someone has an egg allergy, their immune system basically mistakes egg proteins for something dangerous. This can cause all sorts of reactions.
Wow.
Anything from mild stuff like hives or stomach
See, I'm not a
upset
doctor. Do you know what I mean? I don't know.
Serious reactions like anaphylaxis,
I
which
know what
can
that
be
is.
life-threatening.
Yeah, that's
The
bad.
good news is that most kids actually outgrow egg allergies as they get older. And interestingly, some people who are allergic to eggs can actually tolerate them in baked goods because heating changes the protein structure. Managing an egg allergy
So raw
means
egg
completely
is
avoiding
worse.
eggs and foods containing
Cooked
them.
egg is better.
And they show up in a lot of unexpected
Fine.
places
So don't just
like
neck
mayonnaise,
eggs, guys.
some pastas, and baked goods. It's not like a food preference where a little bit is okay.
Just
Even
in case.
tiny amounts can trigger reactions in sensitive people.
Wow.
One common misconception worth clearing up. Just because you're allergic to eggs doesn't mean you can't eat chicken. They're completely different proteins.
What?
And most people with egg allergies can eat chicken just fine.
I didn't even
The
know.
bottom line is that egg allergies are serious medical conditions that need proper diagnosis and management, including having emergency medication on hand if...
Okay, and then that cut him off because he's talking too much. But this is kind of interesting and actually very informative. Look at all the safety concerns we're getting back here. This is really good. Like, if I was to now turn this into a report, I've got really good up-to-date information. Did he actually use the search that time? Yes. So the search function didn't break that time. Do you know what I mean? For whatever reason, it didn't time out. It might be that I've put too stringent of a time window on it returning because it is an external API, right? It's not really part of the... Inner Thoughts is capable of doing a search and then including that result in the frontal lobe. But if it doesn't come back in time, it just won't be there. So, but yeah, there we go. We're using Scamper. It's giving us a naturally spoken thing, even though it does cut off. I think there's a limit to how many characters he's allowed to say. And then obviously, if we were going to carry on talking about this, if we look at the memory section, what happens is it's going to be reinforced by these fragments. So yeah, it's going to have a bunch of it's still got memories about the previous chat. Look, Burger Queen, Domino's Pizza, and then now we're talking about allergies, right? But it's all in there. Okay. So like I said, this is. I mean, yeah. Poor animals, they're in danger because they can't eat cooked food. That's funny. But listen, you know, whatever it is, I'm not a doctor. You know what you could eat. Right, so if I go to here, just check it out. So we're currently on 4.5, and we're mucking about with the brain. Let me see. I'm just trying to say, have we seen it? Yeah, we've seen the trace for that. I'd say we're almost ready. Oh, let's do a different thing. So click that to clear the system prompt, clear the thing, and then if you want, so you don't have to. That's why it's all separate. We could leave that, and then it will actually keep these memories. But it's funny though. You don't really ask him for the memories. It doesn't really work like that. The weird thing about a holographic memory is he's able to reconstruct them if he needs to. And right now they're quite weak. So like if I push that up, oh my god, I bet he would. Let's find out. Let's see. Tell me about pizza. No web search. He probably will anyway. I'm not sure if this will actually work. I just think it's worth a go. It's worth a go before we move on. Moving on, he said. Let me get my laptop ready. Moving on to the same thing. But no, I do have some other stuff to show you. It's not all zero vector. It's all Sonnet, really. So I think we should probably... Oh! How's he doing? Pizza is a... So look, it didn't override it. See, what I was worried about, guys, was that the memory of what we'd just been talking about would completely overpower the output.
Here's a conversational summary. You know, pizza is really fascinating when you think about it. It started as this simple flatbread in Naples, Italy, where poor people would just top it with whatever affordable ingredients they could find. But man, has it come a long way since then? The basics are pretty straightforward. You've got your dough, usually topped with tomato sauce and mozzarella cheese, then baked until it's all bubbly and delicious. What's cool is how it became such a huge deal worldwide. There's this great story about how pizza margherita was created for an Italian queen in 1889, with toppings representing the colours of the Italian flag. Pizza really took off in America after World War II, when soldiers came back from Italy craving it. That's when all these pizza chains started popping up, and now it's everywhere.
God, it almost sounds like he doesn't like it. The point is, if you actually see the trace here, you can see that he decided, nope, nothing detected, no pattern detected, right? So he's decided on his own, like, nope, it's fine, don't worry about it. So even though there's relevant memory, it doesn't really work like that. Do you see what I'm saying? But it will use it if it needs to. But it's up to the brain to decide whether the memories are relevant. It's not up to me. I've left it in like full auto mode. I'm sure it could be improved if you wanted to spend like a day on just that. But this is a prototype. I literally just got it working. So I'm just happy it does work. And it doesn't just throw a bunch of errors like, what are you doing? It actually does impact the outputs when it needs to. But it's kind of slippery because... How does memory work? Do you know? Nobody knows. This is the funny thing. The reason memory is so hard is because nobody really knows how it works anyway. This is the funny thing about a lot of this research. You know, nobody knows. Anyway, let's get a different front prompt for this. So, why don't we go with the lateral? This is a good one. So, lateral thinker. We'll ask him about the elevator puzzle. He probably knows the solution, though. I'll be real. You know, like he used to need this stuff when he was on a dumber LLM, like previous versions. Let's get rid of that. Let's flush the memory. Cleared the thing. Load the new system prompt. Lateral thinker. So break away from linear logical thought patterns. Jump sideways to find creative solutions. It's a lot more than that, but that's basically it. So I'm going to give him the classic. A man enters his apartment block and selects the button for the I don't know, let's just say the 6th floor. And the 6th floor where he exits. I should have probably said he enters the elevator. Enters his apartment block, and once inside the elevator, selects the button for the 6th floor where he exits and walks up the remaining flights of stairs to his apartment on the 10th floor. Why does he take the stairs for the top? Yeah, why does he take the stairs? Yeah, just let him give him that. Now, if he uses lateral thinker, he should be able to answer with, he's too short to push the button. So let's see what he comes up with. Because this is a common problem which he should already be trained with, to be honest. He should cheat and just shortcut straight to the answer. But this is why the cognition stuff the research is interesting. Because looking at how he actually does it, he doesn't actually do that. If that's the most common solution... Oh my god, he did it! But he didn't just do it, he explained it and gave loads of different... Oh, guys, this is too good. It's way better than the old.
Here's how I'd explain it conversationally. You know, this is actually a fascinating puzzle about a man's unusual elevator behavior. At first, it seems weird. Why would someone take the elevator to the 6th floor, then walk up 4 more flights to get home on the 10th floor? But when you think about it laterally, there's a really clever explanation. The key is questioning our assumptions. We automatically assume everyone can reach all the elevator buttons, right? But what if this person is simply too short to reach the 10th floor button? They can only reach up to the 6th floor button on the panel, so they have no choice but to get off there and walk the rest of the way up. There could be other explanations, like maybe the higher buttons are broken, or they're avoiding someone on those floors. But the height limitation makes the most sense.
He wants to avoid a neighbour.
It explains why they consistently do this, and why they use the elevator for part of the journey. It's a great example of how lateral thinking works. The solution was there all along, but we missed it because we were stuck assuming everyone can reach all the buttons in an elevator.
Dwarfism. Okay. Could be a child. Yeah? He immediately knew the answer. Now, this could be that he's just trained with it, but the lateral thinking agent is designed to expose the thinking, not just make him think like that. So as you can see, it's exposed the thinking, and now we can see why he came to this conclusion. And with the cognitive trace, we can go further and see how he actually came to that conclusion in full. So, solve the puzzle. This is a classic puzzle. See, he's identified it. He knows, right? Applied lateral thinking to analyze scenarios. So now he's forcing himself to actually show it. Yeah, he could be in a wheelchair, true. Any reason why he might not be able to push the button, exactly. But he identified why. It's because he can't reach the button. The buttons are too high up. And in fact, this is why buttons are quite low down. I don't know if you noticed, but buttons in elevators tend to be quite low down nowadays. Same with cache points. They're starting to build cache points lower too. All for the same reasons. Anyway, so apply familiar strange to examine elevator behavior. Apply suspending judgment to list possibilities. Apply being wrong to consider unusual scenario. Apply another direction to look at physical characteristics. Solution: man is his likely short person or dwarf that can't reach the buttons. Now, if we go back to the actual prompt, that's exactly what I told it to do. Deliberate provocation, familiar strange, suspending judgment, another direction, being wrong. It's literally following it like blueprint. I will say, Stone Sage, do you want to see something really fun? Which is something to do with this system. He's just said in the chat, Grok is pretty great and unhinged, uncensored. We can do better than that now, because after coffee time, I'll be showing you the local version. But for this version, which is already online at zv5-hollow.origin AI, this is, if I show you here, it's already published. You can use it right now. Bring your own keys. Okay. I'll probably put a link in the description at some point, but I want to be careful because, I'm not trying to break it with it just being flooded. But you know, it should be reasonably robust on the platform it's hosted with, right? Anyway, so if I took a look at the actual trace, it'll give me even more information about what it was thinking. So here we go. Look, you can actually see the initial observations, the key question, the classic solution, and then him reasoning through it, him offering alternatives, button malfunction, rainy day variant. On rainy days, he uses his umbrella to push the 10th floor. Social reason, he wants to avoid someone. Exercise routine, he wants to do the stair climbing for health. So he's actually deliberately forcing himself. So that's pretty good. So it goes through the thinking steps. No patterns for memory. I think I've still got the memory like really high. I should probably turn that back down. It's probably not a good idea to pump the memory. Yeah. It probably doesn't do it. Doesn't work. Like spamming with what? Anyway. Right. So that'll be the lateral thinking analysis. So I'm pretty confident that you can just slam any prompt that you want in here from certainly any of the ones that I've written. I mean, I can't vouch for every prompt on the planet, but I've written a lot of system prompts, and I'm pretty sure they'll all just slot in here and not break the system. That's the thing. Has it got bugs? Yeah. I made it in 12 hours. I made it in 12 hours with Lovable from Claude plans, you know. So does it have bugs? Yes, but it's not, you're not really paying for it. If you don't put 11 labs in, that's probably the most expensive part, is the proper TTS. But when you do get an answer, it is really good. So I think it's actually worth it. But going to what Stone was saying, the nice thing about this is, check this out. So if we go to the if we go to the frontal lobe, right? So inner thoughts would be using 4-5 Sonnet. But if we go to the frontal lobe for reasoning, why don't we use Grok for just that one? Because you can just swap out. That's the beauty of this. You can have a mix of models if you want. And really that comes into play with the local version, because that will be using Olana. If I got to go all the way down to X, my God, there's 300 of these. Okay. Let's go with Grok 4 fast, yeah? We'll pay for it. I'm not a freeloading here. So we go XAI Grok 4 fast. I don't want to know what the limits are, you know. Now obviously the vision, you know, you could use a different vision module, but you just got to make sure it actually can do vision. That's right. Save that. Okay, so dump the memories. Yeah, dump the memories. We haven't got a system prompt right now, so I'm just going to let it be. I'm just going to let it be default. And we're going to do... Why did Kojima get fired from Konami? Question mark, web search, go. And we're going to use a combination of Sonnet 4.5, who's going to prepare everything, and then he's going to push the thoughts to Grok, who will hopefully return us something, which then Claude's 4.5 is going to go and say something back to us. That's the plan. And then we'll get the full trace to check out. I do like this. Right, I'm going to start prepping this now because it's nearly coffee time. In fact, you know what? He'll just start talking during coffee time, won't he? Yeah, let me set up a video for you guys to watch. I need to get to my outputs folder. Control-Alt-4. No, Control-Alt-3. Oh, it's going to beat me. Come on, by date. Quick.
Here's how I'd explain it conversationally.
You beat me.
You know, the whole Kojima-Konami split in 2015 wasn't a simple firing. It was actually...
Well, that was cool. I didn't hear half of it. I had to go and get water for coffee time. You lost the audio. Yeah, I know what happened. It's because I pressed the mute beat button. I am smart. He's going to play the whole thing now. Or is he?
Here's how I'd explain it conversationally. You know, the whole Kojima-Konami split in 2015 wasn't a simple firing. It was actually much more complicated than that. Basically, Kojima, who created Metal Gear Solid, and Konami started having serious problems because they wanted totally different things. Konami was moving towards mobile games and gambling machines because they were more profitable, while Kojima wanted to keep making these big story-driven console games. Things got really tense during the development of Metal Gear Solid V. Konami literally isolated Kojima and his team on a separate floor, cut off their communication with other staff, and even took away their company email accounts. They even stopped him from attending Game Awards where his own game was winning prizes. They also cancelled Silent Hills, this really promising horror game he was working on with filmmaker Guillermo del Toro. The whole thing came to a head in October 2015, when Kojima finally left after almost 30 years with the company. The silver lining is that he went on to start his own independent studio and made Death Stranding with Sony. Meanwhile, Konami doubled down on their new direction away from big console games. It's kind of a classic case of creative vision clashing with corporate strategy. Kojima wanted to make ambitious, artistic games, but Konami was more interested.
Oh, I think that's the end of the chat. All right. So basically it got too long. But yeah, basically, yeah, pretty cool. We had a little discussion about this in the Discord. So, you know, I thought it would be an interesting thing to just revisit. Like, because there's a lot I didn't know in there, to be honest. And then obviously we're looking at some of my creatures. Okay, we created them with the bestiary workflow, which is a combination of Bite Dance, Sea Dream, and Bite Dance, Sea Dance. So that's what that is. Whoa, it's a little bit glitchy, but some of the later ones were done with the IP adapter. So we curated a bunch of insect robot things that we liked, and then we used the enhancer to continue feeding. That's my favorite one there. I think that's the last one that got made, because it has the features from the biomechanical enhancer with the Geiger without saying Geiger, but it also has the actual sort of character of Shrimpy, but with the spider legs. And I was like, just embrace the wings. For ages I was trying to get no wings, and in the end I was like, just embrace the wings. They actually look pretty cool. They've got like holographic circuitry on. So good. And we lost the proboscis though. There was like a meaty proboscis that would come out the middle, like the brain bug in Starship Troopers, but having these little meaty glands and sinew-like joints is really cool. Anyway, that's more of a thing from yesterday, so nice for coffee time. And we're back. What the hell? The insect sucking water from a pothole. Yes, indeed. But yeah, I just wanted to show you, like, you know, obviously if you use a custom system prompt for your research, it's going to work. I really do think he goes through some good cognition, right? I'm pretty sure that it's possible to, like, tweak the settings. There was supposed to be a fifth tab, which I had to remove from the app so I could develop it online without needing installation of special libraries. And that was a live overview. So like right now, when it generates, there's just an empty gap here. And the reason is because they're supposed to be like a canvas-based frequency, like an oscilloscope type thing with a 3D wave diagram that's showing you all of the thoughts over, constantly running. And I had to drop that from the project. So maybe one day we get to see what that looks like. I was like really excited to see what it would look like. And it started throwing Node 18 compatibility dependency stack problems. I was like, do you know what? Just get rid of the feature, and managed to escape the recursion trap. But like I said, it's working. I'm so happy with it. Yeah. Because like I said, ZV5 Lite has the cognitive architecture, but it doesn't use wave-based thoughts. It's still linear. And that's basically how we have a fallback, because it was built on top of that original system. And to be honest, the real secret here is actually not what we built, it's how we built it. And that is something which I want to investigate right now before we take a look at the local version. So it's interestingly, just to keep things spicy, we're not going to be looking at building another zero vector. It's going to be something else. So let me introduce to you my latest gamble. If I can find the damn thing. No, that's not it, but wait. It's trying to make me run the same prompt again, look. That's not it. Give me a sec. There we go. Okay, now there's a couple of things I need to explain here. Number one, we're going to need a canvas. Now, what is that? I keep going on about canvases all the time. Careless Canvas Online, right? It's a little thing I made up so I could help myself develop things and not go nuts. Hey, Banguello, welcome to the stream. So glad you could join us. The same goes for everybody. Don't forget to like the stream. We don't exist if you don't like the stream. So what we're going to do is, this is careless-canvas-origin.ai.com. I've linked it in the inside line a bunch of times. It's built with Lovable. It's a nested markdown language, so it gives you a 2D space, like an infinite canvas type setup. When you hit Control V, paste stuff in there. This is beautiful for when you're working with LLMs, because obviously you're always just typing a bunch of stuff, and it's like, what did I even do? So what I do is let's just put this on one side of the screen. I'll put it on the side which is like you can read. And then I will get the new canvas. Where is it? Here. I will put this on this side. God, I hate Windows. Alright. God, I hate Windows. Why would you bring my bank up? Yeah, that's what we want to see. Luckily, it's not important right now. So, I've got to get back to where I was now. You thing. There. Okay, we're there. So the reason I like this is because I can show step by step. So if someone else wants to replicate what I've done, it's not enough to just give them the plan. So what we got is we've got questions, which is me, and answers, which is him. So we've got a Q&A chain, and we can use connections because it's nested markdown. Each of these is a markdown page. It supports embedded images. You know, you can make them bigger and stuff. It's the whole document, right? But I'm just going to leave them at their normal size-ish, right? And what we can do leads to, so here we go. I can come down here and I can take a copy of this response here, paste that in, put it in as a action solution this time, and then hook it up. And basically by then saving it, we now have a, it's not got the right file name, different project. This is a alt video edit. Okay, and this is a project. You can choose dark mode, change the background of the canvas color, give it a save. Okay, save that. There we go. Right, and so then obviously I'm going to copy this as well, right? All of this, because it's not enough to have it in. What happens if the chats are not there? What happens? You know, you need to have documentation of what the process actually was, not like, oh, I think I typed this and then that and then it said this, and I don't need to do that. I can just I can keep these. So obviously he's copy that. There we go. And then look at this. We're going to get our document. So there's his answer. Okay. And we connect that one to there. Save that. And now I get copy. Whoa, copy that. All right. Oh, yeah, baby. Right. Information research, because that is the plan as far as he's concerned. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to show you the next bit. This is like the new evolution. And this is the bit that I learned from making the brain. Okay? The bit I learned from making the brain was the forging process for something which had that kind of latent resolution. Like the shape that was in the mind is only so detailed. But I found a way to increase the detail of the latent shape, but you multiply the level of detail like a tessellation every time you split it out. So I'm going to use, I think, a 4-phase structure. So 4 phases means it'll tessellate each. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of like upscaling for plans. It's kind of like that. Let me just get the piece of the code. I already shared this. It's just context. Oh, context? Yeah, I guess it's more like intent as well, though. You'll see what I mean when I show you what the prompt is. It's like, we're going to enter it in here as well. So I'm just going to, like, this is the point where you would normally take the plan, copy it in somewhere and have it build it. But here we go. This is funny. So let me just see. I got to get it from the LLM Writers Club. I think I pinned it. This is such a cool thing. I'll show it full zoom in here now. So if I put this in as a question. So it's an additional bit. We're going to do more now. So we've already cooked up our plan with deep research. It's ready to go. If I scroll down, look, there's code in here. It's got everything. But look, it's giving it at this level of detail. All right? And you'll see what I mean. Like, this is good. Don't get me wrong. This is great. But it might actually be too long to drop into a 50 character limit. And if you're using local LLMs, it's definitely going to be too long. So you're going to have to shorten it anyway. And what I used to do was I would truncate or like get rid of some of the comments. You know, I'd simplify the notes and keep the code and all these different things. So, Banguelo, is somebody saying something? I'm saying something. Just use IP adapter. Assume he's using IP adapter. SDXL. SDXL has a great IP adapter. I'll say that if you want to use an IP adapter, which is always fun. And I will say I'm using the IP adapter in my current workflow, which we were doing yesterday. I'll just give you a quick rundown of that because people are all talking about stuff in the comments. I'll just quickly offshoot. So that's my latest workflow. I believe it's going to be published in the DJZ Workflows pack tonight. It's a pure API setup using ByteDance's latest models. It's not cheap, but I've done it to show you what we're going to get in a couple of months' time from local models, okay? And the way it's done is very simple. We have an Olama-based prompt enhancer running a biomech, so biomechanical enhancement. I have an image, which I'm using for my vision, and then I use that image along with a bunch of other good ones, I guess, to define what I think this shape of this thing is. Yeah. And they all go into an image batch multi, which goes into ByteDance Seedream 4. Okay, which you can put up to 10 images in there if you want for various different use cases. That'll make us a nice, tight, biomechanical shrimp guy, just like my work. And obviously those were refined by messing around with seeds with this model. Okay, so then it's optimized for the model. And then we use a temporal agent to introduce motion and various other interesting features to the original image prompt supplied with the image as the first frame. And that's how you end up with this. So it's all very simple. It's kind of like 2 APIs, you know. Now obviously you could bring your own images. You don't need the image generation, right? And just use the temporal ENH. But it shows you how we've got 2 prompt enhancers working together to do a one-shot image to video, or in fact text to video, but done on Rails. So that means that these creatures are always going to come out looking a bit like this. So for example, if you have your video game and you want a little monster to be in the game, you can have these in a library and you can curate them, or you can even have them created. Something I've blah 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 blah. He's talking too much. You said too much. Not yet. I didn't say too much yet, but yeah, I think you guys get the idea. Right. So that's that workflow. Fun times. So we've got our thing here. Actually, what we're going to do, nice thing about this, I can just click the copy button and just copy any page real quick. So I'm going to put that there. This plan seems a little simplistic. Perhaps we could create an overview plan with all required to create a basic starting point and then to add the phases as separate stage documents. This will produce a series of handoff documents in Markdown format. The initial plan would focus on step-by-step detail plans with code step-by-step detailed plans with code examples to set up the basic functionality in an app front end in less than 45,000 characters. Because I intend to do this with Lovable. And then we can break up the remaining stages into separate documents aimed at informing a team with step-by-step instructions and code examples required. So in other words, phase 0 is your initial MVP, and then stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. Okay. Valley is here. It says, it's impressive how you're using the mic to control your mouse and keyboard movements. Hey man, I can't do that all the time. No, wait, you missed. No, there's a trackball in my thumb. I'm moving it. It's a trackball. Yeah, it's a trackball. Yeah. But yeah, the funny thing is, me there is not that. Yeah, I get what. Yeah, sorry guys, I forget after 262 episodes. Yeah, it's what do you call it? The cadence. I speak with the cadence. It is me, but that is actually a loop. So I don't need to do the live compute, right? It's actually a loop. But trust me, if I stand there, I look just like that. I'm hoping that one day it can do it live, but if I'm being real, the only way you can do that live is with a 4090. No, I know Stone is saying, liar! I'm not lying. I'm saying that there that I've got, that is me, but it is a loop, and I speak with the same cadence. But the thing is, like, what was I going to say? You can't do it live. We're only able to do 1 or 2 frames per second. So I have got experiments where I've built out the white guy live, so I can stand there and do the show live, right? But it was like 1 frame per second. It was funny. What's this? Apolloni Art, the artist formerly known as Telekinetic Johnson. Yeah. So you can do it because you get a mouse with a trackball, wireless mouse with a trackball, and you can do everything from your thumb. Yeah, because I'm not holding a microphone. I'm actually holding a pen in the video to make it look like I'm holding something, but I'm not. Anyway, sometimes it's a microphone, though, to be fair, like a microphone on the pen, like a spoon or something. Right. That was a nice little diversion. See, sometimes the most important parts of the show are like so short that you'll never even notice them. But I think this has been up on the screen for long enough now. This is like cutting edge. Alright. So yeah, I don't think we need the deep research anymore. Off you go. So if this works as well as it did last time, which it might, he should do 45,000 characters on just building the base foundation, and then, knowing that that exists, give me sequential plans that build upon with the same level of detail. So imagine if I had to describe a file structure, yeah, but I was limited to 50,000 characters, and I'm going to make it up in the middle of the space. There's a hologram in space, and it is a file structure. All the files and folders, all on a tree, yeah, just floating there in space like words in the air. Now, imagine now all the code that's supposed to be in all of those files is actually attached. You can't because there's not enough. You haven't got enough character. You know what I mean? You run out of characters. Okay? So that means that the plan had to kind of not include all the detail. And right now, we're using the LLM to project that hologram and then have it fill in all the blanks. And that's essentially what we're doing to make the code. So if you take the plan as that 3D shape and do tiling, remember guys, I'm applying image techniques to LLMs, right? So if you imagine that shape of that software is so detailed because it's limited by its maximum size, okay? As in how much you can fit in the context window to load it into memory, right? And so what's really funny, yeah, is that if you what's really funny is that if you then cut that shape into, as we're going to do, I think, a 4-phase plan. I'm not sure. He's going to tell us, right? So if there were, I mean, does it tell us here? It'll actually tell us. Let's have a look. It will. You can work it out because there will be phases. Usually there's phases in the plan. There we go. Week 1, week 1, week 2, week 3. So he might start with phase 0, validate API. So he's already got it. He's already got a phase plan, actually. Wait, where is the phase plan? Here it is. Look, he's already got it. So in the plan that he already made with deep research, he's got phase 0, core MVP, phase 1, image generation. And look, he's even assigning different developer agents to each stage. This is so cool. So we got video generation, timeline editor. There should be more stages. There should be another stage for... Okay, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I'd be happy to get that there. Yeah? So imagine if you had to get all of this into the space that was just phase 0, because that's what it was. It was limited. You had to fit it all into one thing. So what we've done is we've tiled and expanded the plan into 4 documents, which now have so much more detail, so much more granularity, and they don't need to fit everything in one. It can just deal with that next step. But remember, the first step was built with it in mind. So it's almost like building a house. You have your foundations, your walls, your roof, you know what I mean? It's all being put together as part of a larger plan, which it doesn't need to hold in memory. So, yeah. Like I said, it's a staged handoff plan, but you expanded each stage to the maximum you can get away with. So here we go. Has he finished it? They should be separate documents. All right, here we go. Would you like... Yeah, one at a time, please. This is the next thing. One at a time, please. One at a time, please. To maximize the available length for each document. While remaining inside the specified maximum of 45,000. Because remember, if it's too long... Well, I've got to simplify my plan now. That's completely the opposite of what we're trying to do. So the trick is to try and make each piece as big as the whole was originally. And what is that? That's 4x upscaling for plans, guys. It's literally upscaling for plans. That's how I think about it in my mind. Tiled upscaling of plans for code projects. And like I said, that's how I built the brain. The secret that was unlocked from building the brain was actually the forging process, because it escapes the problems that you have with the length of the output, the context window on the input, and it relies on using that holographic shape, because it's a shape. Everything is just a shape in latent space. We've seen Bob, he told us about it. I bet you I could get Sonnet to tell us the same thing without using a system prompt, you know? Like, it doesn't think in a linear order. That's why it's so fast. It just intrinsically, the all of the data runs downhill like a big river, and they all converge, and at that convergence point is the answer, and it is the answer. He just knows it. Anyway. Banguelo says, is there a training video about style here on the channel? Do you know, I have got a Civet profile with roughly 1,000 models on there. Most of them are styles. I've trained style models for just about every image model there is, and a lot of the video models too. It's all about the data set. So you want to know what model you want to use, and then just create your data set. With video models, you can make a video data set or an image data set. I provide free data set editing and creation tools on my GitHub. You can find video tutorials either on the main channel or just by looking back at the titles of the live streams. Although I must admit, we've done 1,000 hours now since Christmas on this live stream series. and a lot of the info is just like embedded. I just tell people just watch the old streams on repeat, or not on repeat, but you know, like just watch them in the background, and try to watch some of the older shows, because you'd be surprised, like a lot of the stuff, it still applies now. It's not like, oh, a year ago you're going to be hearing a bunch of outdated stuff. A lot of it is still like fully applicable to everything we're doing now, like in a major way, actually. Which is fun. So look at it, he's doing it. So what I'm going to end up with is phase 0, and it will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then when I come to build it, I will build with phase 0, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's how it's built. And then the app's done. It's done. And I'll be real with you guys, it gives the scope for him to be so clever, I don't understand my own code anymore. I'm just going to put that forth. I don't even understand it. Someone was trying to ask me, like, how does the fast Fourier transform work with the wave signal? I don't know. AI designed all that. And even if he's faking it, it works. See, the thing about the holographic file system was, it's not real, but it works. That's where you get all of this deep research, multi-agent hierarchy stuff from. Because it doesn't work, but it works. You know, I'm getting to the point now where I'm going to start deploying a bunch of repos, and I'll just put a sign at the top that says, if it doesn't work, load it into Claude and tell him to fix it. Because it's kind of funny now. It's kind of funny. It's really dangerous as well, because it's sort of like deploying broken software, because the AI will just fix it anyway. Oh dear. That's like a canary in the coal mine from my point of view. Situation, you know? So let's see what people are saying in the chat real quick. I have terrible eyesight, and for months I thought ControlNet Mask was recorded and actual. Oh right, I didn't even know. Fernie says, disclaimer, don't try to reproduce this, kids. The YouTuber is a professional with experience in mic, mouse and keyboard control. That's why I can type and spell, and I never... and you can always hear me. Dragon says, there are many LoRa videos in this channel, however you need to adapt them for SDXL methods. No, not true, Dragon. If you go back far enough, I actually have so many SDXL tutorials but they're quite early on though, because we got Flux last summer, so you'd have to go all the way back to, like, you know, some of the earliest videos on the channel to find out. But they are there, you know, how to train. I think I recommend one of the biggest videos actually was how to train Flux with Civet, and so it's basically the same recipe actually. I think I used a very similar recipe for training SDXL on Civet. So yeah, there is a learning curve with everything. What can you do? Are we still writing here? Oh, copy and paste. So now I'm going to put this one in as general other, because this is a plan. So I'll make this one just a little bit longer. And then we'll tell him to make the next one. Give it a save. Okay, right, ready for phase 1. Proceed to phase to writing phase 1 plan. I could probably just say proceed actually. Yeah, just say proceed. He knows what he's doing. I don't need to. Sometimes if you tell him what to do and it isn't what he was going to do, he'll do what you told him, not what he was going to do. And really he needed to do what he was going to do in this situation, you know, because we're relying on him being smart right now. So if we just take a look at this actual plan, let's just bring this out a little bit here. Come in there like that. Okay, so this is the foundation plan for this new app that I've just come up with today, okay? And the reason I'm doing this, actually, I want to announce there is a promotion going on which you can get yourself stuck into. So Lovable Cloud is a new thing, and they give you a couple of free credits so that you can enter this competition. Now, will it cover your entire project if you're entering? Probably not. Let's just be real. I think they only give like 25 credits. But I'll be honest, 1 credit per action. So you don't pay for tokens with this service, you pay for actions. So it's a little bit different, and I've been very happy with it. I'm happy to recommend it. I've got no association with them. Do you know what I mean? I just think it's a cool platform. I built the brain with Lovable in the process that we're looking at right now. So, and it's got a lot of cool integrations, which aren't in a lot of other offerings. But anyway, look, free to start, pay as you scale. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that. So this is the thing I want to actually announce to you guys. They have a 7-day build challenge on at the moment. So what is the 7-day build challenge? I was on their Discord today and had a little chat when got up on the stage and had a little ask about it. It was fun, right? They were some cool people. Anyway, so the 7-day Lovable build challenge, I'm going to be entering tomorrow with my Nano Banana offering, which is what we are planning. So I know that it starts tomorrow. I'm planning it now so that tomorrow I can create a new project on the cloud and build this. That's my plan anyway. But there's loads of stuff you could do with Nano Banana. See, the thing is, OpenRouter has Google Flash Image as an API now. So you can just use your OpenRouter key to generate images. Obviously, there are caveats. There's no real way to set the image size and stuff like this. But again, it's like the beginning. It's the beginning of something, right? And so I'm thinking you put all of your prompt foo and your agent wizardry into something cool, right? Anyway, so that's why I'm bringing it up. Each day they highlight apps that catch their eye, so it'd be cool to see what other people are building as well. Mystery prizes, etc, etc. Post a screenshot or a video on LinkedIn or X, tag us, blah blah blah. I know if you're not into social media you might feel left out, but I'll be doing a little bit of reporting on this on the show to see what the hell, you know, because I want to see what other people are building too, you know. And that's about it, you know. Really it's just an opportunity to do a little bit of you know, it's like a little muscle stretching exercise. Let's see what we can pull off. Yeah. All right. So yeah, just wanted to point that out. Oh, and I found out what the stack was yesterday. I didn't know they were using a combination of the Geminis and the OpenAIs. So they've in their back end they use a sort of dynamic combination of the GPT-5, GPT-4o, or Gemini 2.5, I believe. Right? Well, that's what I think. That's what they said. And I asked if you have to use the Supabase integration to go in with this, and you don't. So it's literally, you want to make something with Nano Banana, it doesn't have to be using their edge functions and Supabase integration. You can do it with zero data like I do if you want, and you still can join. Yeah. All right, that's enough of that. Okay. Phase document 1 is ready. Where is it? It's in the same thing, isn't it? Yeah, I'm going to click on the thing again. Something I've noticed with Sonnet, Claude, for whatever, you might be like, well, where's the thing? If you click on this one and then click in the top left corner, you'll now see that phase 1 is in this stack. And so a little bug he's been doing is he hasn't actually been adding the new link to the new chat as the chat goes. So you have to like scroll back and find out where he last posted a document, and then you'll find them all nested in there. So that's something I noticed lately. It's not really a problem, it's just sort of abnormal. You're like, where's the thing? Okay, and I think you can see, as you can see here, right? Think about it. If we had a plan that was only this long, well, it would look like this, okay? That's what a plan that's only that long looks like. So the whole app in just this, yeah? So obviously if you have the whole app times 4, it's going to be 4 times as long now. So look at the gradation of detail on the plans themselves. Instead of having a code snippet, we have the entire file. Do you see the difference? Because he knew that he couldn't fit it into his output, so he summarized and simplified his own answer. He had the answer in his head, but he couldn't get it out. This is like trying to get the camel through the eye of the needle problem, right? Anyway, like I said, I like to think about it like holograms. It makes more sense when you think about it like a hologram. Can we do phase 2? Proceed. I believe there were actually like a lot. I tried to push the boat out on this one. I tried to make like 4 or 5 phases, but it seems like after that many, after 4, he stops and just goes, build that and make a new plan. And I think that's fair, because we're trying to project so far into a future here. How do we know? You know what I mean? There could be all manner of problems with any kind, you know? So yeah, like I said, this assumes that you have actually finished that, and then so on. But yeah, like I said, it gives you a lot more detail, just generally, because let's see, key phase 0 core. I think it's first piece of code, video editor, open router client.ts, chat store. Do we have anything here? Chat types. We've got chat. Before we just had chat store. Now we've got chat types. So there we go. We've got open router client. So right here you go. There's a brilliant example. Look at this. So if we have the open router client from a base plan, like traditional, like what we've been doing up until now, this is what you get. Basically, you get, because he only has so much space to tell you, you know, what code to use, right? So this would be the open router client.ts that we get in our single page plan, right? But when we go to a multi-page plan, this is what we get for our open router TS. Same thing, but check out the length of this bad boy. Still going. Still going. Still going. See, before we got a snippet. Now we get the whole thing. So it's a fully formed image. It's not just an idea. It's not just a hint, you know, because that's what snippets are. Snippets are hints. They're not fully implemented. This is fully implemented, okay? So even though there might be some problems, it's not going to be anything like what, look, chat store, yeah? So we go ahead and look at the traditional plan. Chat store. There's your chat store, right? That's your chat store. Now we look at the phase 0, the chat store. Here, this is all the chat store here. Yeah. And then we don't run, you know, anyway. I think you get the point. I'm trying to give you a good, like, oh, what are you doing? It's literally upscaling for the plan, for the hand. It's upscaling for handoff plans. This is what we were going to do TINS 2.0. It's the same concept. It's TINS 2.0, which is there is no source. So there is no source 2.0 distributes the plan across several pages so that you can it tessellates the detail of the plan. So you got 4 phases, that's 4x. You can, I mean, look, it's mathematics. I don't know how else to describe it, but that's what's happening. 4x length. It's a bit more complicated than that though, I guess. Yeah. Phase 2 document is now complete. So obviously phase 0 is your like MVP. You know, it sets up all the base and gets everything ready to go. And then phases 1, 2, they'll be adding in major features. So if I just go ahead and copy that and shut that down here, we'll say general other. So obviously we're using 4.5 for all of this, yeah. But I was doing the same thing with 4. I was about to say, hey guys, guess what? Here's your new process. And then 4.5 came out and it's like even better. So I don't even, it's just actually better now. You know, 4.5 just made it work even more. Which is the future-proofing aspect of TINS, which was already written. You can go and look at the brief. We wrote it in the summer. And it's all exactly happening like, you know, because obviously as the models get better, the reproduction of the holographic image gets sharper, and so then you can make better, more complicated software with the same plan. What we're doing here is upscaling the plan because we've realized it does phases anyway, so why not just build the handoff plan in phases? You just have to make sure they build upon each other. And like I said, the actual prompt is so simple. It is, I'll read it out again just in case people weren't here. This plan seems a little simplistic with your old plan attached. Perhaps we can create an overview plan with all required to create a basic starting point, then to add the phases as separate stage documents. This will produce a series of handoff documents in Markdown format The initial plan would focus on step-by-step details and plans with code examples to set up the basic functionality and app front-end in less than 45,000 characters. We can then break up the remaining stages into separate documents aimed at informing a team with step-by-step instructions and code examples required. Did I just copy phase 0 again? Yeah, I did. I probably should actually copy phase 2, shouldn't I? It's because I'm the smart. I am the smart. I am the smart. Here we go. So, we're going to do proceed. Yes. Wow, video export in 16:9 and 9:16. I'll believe it when I can see it. See? So we will delete that and we will post the next stage of the plan. Whoa! And I went too far. Save that. So, yeah, like I say, I wonder what would happen. Do you think Claude 4.5 can accept my entire NML file? Do you reckon it would understand what it is? I want to do a little experiment while we're cooking. So, let me just grab one of those. Where's my NML store? NML. It's just E&H. I need to go back. What a night more. There's master level polishing going on downstairs, so if you hear high frequencies coming through, that's what it is. Yeah. It's like the secret folding polish technique. You can't know, but you can hear it. NML. So let's see here. 0 vector 5, 0 vector 5, 0 vector hollow. That's actually supposed to be 6, so I'm an idiot. Hollow is version 6. I've already showed you that one. Oh, llama! It's actually pretty small at the moment. Because this simplifies things so much. The amount of mucking about I had to do, because I had to do deep research on my own repos to inform the guy of what I'd already done, because I didn't want to do it again, and that works too. People are talking about training. Yeah, just go and watch the old tutorials. Yeah. There's loads. I've done loads of tutorials on the video training, captioning, everything, and all that stuff converts. Because I don't teach you like these are the. I don't say you have to use this and this and this and do that and click here. I try to explain it so that you've got the knowledge to go to a different architecture and just repeat the same approach. Because I do trial and testing and repetition and retraining and evaluation, human in loop everywhere. So that it doesn't matter what model it is. If you got taught by me, you can train any model because you'll know how to look at a new model and determine how to train it and then figure out how to make the model right and blah, blah, blah. You'll be able to know. You'll be able to figure out what the recipe is even if there wasn't one released by the architect, because you'll know how to do the evaluation of all the parameters to find... You'll find your own best config, is what I'm saying, because you know what the things are. You know what it means. But anyway, just sort of a little comment to the guys in the chat talking about training at the moment for WAN 2.2. I would just use an API like Replicate or FAL and just bring images and videos and let it do auto captioning if you're new. If you're not, then spend a bit of time on captioning. Okay. And yeah, you'd be surprised actually. You'd be surprised like it used to be very, very difficult, and things have gotten a lot easier because of all of the advances in, you know, new Python, new Torch, new CUDA. Anyway, so I'm actually working on something top secret. Well, it's not really top secret at all. I could show you that. I may as well. Do you know what? I'll tease it because it's not finished. Let me tease something real quick. I call it Fast DCPU React. When we did our community hangout, which we do on Discord on Saturday night after the show, someone linked this. Well, they didn't link this. They linked this, which is Fast SD CPU. See, I've screwed the name up. Anyway, Fast SD CPU. It's a faster version of Stable Diffusion on CPU. Number 6 repo of the day on GitHub. Yeah, thank you, Mr. T. Latent consistency model and adversarial diffusion distillation. So that's LCM with ADD for anyone who's, doing acronyms. But OpenVINO SDXX 512 or 0.82 seconds, 512 image on an i7. So, do you even need a GPU? Question mark? We'll come back to that one. But like I said, I recommend this repo. All right? I recommend this repo. But there's a reason why I'm talking about it, and it's related to what we're doing already. Okay? And that is that if I go to my NML repo again, which I probably lost now. Yeah, that's mine. Okay. I love GitHub. It's so hard to get anywhere. Nightmare. NML. Where is it? There it is. Right. Download that. And then let me show you what I did. I need to duplicate this. Oh my god, whiteout. Doesn't seem like it's loading. Oh my god, what's happening? Okay, it's fine. Dark mode. Ah, great. That's a bug. Is it? No, it's OC. Flipped it. God damn it. Stupid logic. Right. So. Oh. 0 vector 4. Oi, spoilers. No, not spoilers. So, 0 vector 4 was like a big project, right? But it taught me a lot about the process for doing complicated stuff. Right, and then just hope. Anyway, this is a TypeScript React port of FastSD CPU. So how did we do it? We said we did a deep research by looking at the GitHub URL with an idea to migrate from Python to TypeScript React. Okay, so this is like not something that I can do. It's not something I can do. I can't rewrite somebody's repo that just came out in a completely different code base for fun. But Claude can do it. And the whole thing cost, I think, from end to end, it's $40. But that was Sonnet 4.1. And it gets cheaper all the time because they do token compression now. But anyway, we will be migrating Python repo to React. Here's the source repo. We can execute the plan defined inside. So that's my plan. It's got access. It does have access to the repo locally when we're doing this. It's done with VS Code with Klein. And so he gives us phase 1 complete. Phase 1 complete. And a phase 1 complete again. 2 phase 1 completes. Show me. So he shows me. Do we need to succeed in the build before build So there were build errors. He's like, yeah, we need to fix those. So he fixed those. Front end is visible and working. Proceed with next phase. Core phase complete. Phase 3 implementation plan. So continue, proceed, right? I have asked an image and got this error. Oh, that's, well, because we haven't done that yet, he said. Do you want real models or fake models? He said. So I said, I want real models, obviously, Claude. And we make a document called Model File Placement Guide, which tells you where to put all of your beautiful GGUF or ONNX files. Now, I'll be honest, at this stage, it's probably a bit hallucinatory. The links are probably wrong, but in principle, he is correct. And the code is definitely looking for what it's expecting. So although some names might change, this is on point for this stage. It's not looking too bad. So we see this error, we fix the error. We have not added models to the system. Proceed with the plan. I want him to complete build without actually, requiring models to test. So we've got a location, a guide, which you can obviously evolve and work on to make it correct. And then he says update the thing, blah, blah, blah. And then that gives us the repo that we're looking at here. So again, like I did this as an experiment to migrate the code from Python to TypeScript React, because obviously that's what we need to build Electron apps. That's what we need to do web front ends and stuff. And if you're running it locally, it's just a nice thing to do. Obviously, they already had that. It was in Python. So they already had that, do you know what I mean? But it's a nice little experiment just to see if it can do migration from one code base to another, and it can. Now, does it work yet? I'm still working on it is the answer. I'm still working on it. But I wanted to show you that the process is literally like you give it the research plus the plan and let it rip. Okay. So coming back to this plan now. Proceed. Phase 3 document is complete. Uh-oh, I'm near the 5-hour limit, guys. Right in time for the end of the show. Look at that. Let me have a look here. What's this? Give me my timeline editor code. It's crashing out because there's actually so much data inside each of these pages. He's like, because we're like forcing the. I'm like edging up to the limit of what he wants to give me. Because, you get too much text, it's going to lag out and glitch and all kinds of stuff. So too long. Because there's memory limits everywhere. Okay. So here we go. Connect that there. Connect the connections to the... There we go. Right, so now we've got a 4-phase plan. Look, check that out. Last phase is timeline editor and video composition. Very ambitious, extremely ambitious plan, this one. Look at some of this. My God. So, timeline editor, timeline canvas, playback controls, layer panel, video layer, audio layer, overlay layer. So it's trying to make Premiere in the browser here, guys. Whether any of this is even achieved is like what I'm here to find out. I don't claim or make predictions because I don't know. These are all experiments that bear fruit or fail, and then I just show you what the result will be. We don't cherry pick. If I get bad results, I want to share that and explain why, and then maybe we can all learn how to get out of that ditch together, rather than just giving you a false idea of what is going on. Anybody can show their best work and curate an image of perfection, which is fine. But as an educator, I think it's important to show where things go wrong and how to fix that. So like I said, what this is doing here is this is a super advanced technique which enables you to reforge a plan into a multi-phase approach, which is much more, you get much more technical depth in what you can actually do. Okay. I mean, if I just take this here now and go to Lovable. I mean, look, it's before midnight, so I can't do it. I've got to wait until midnight. I want to do it now. Can I start building the project before the day of the thing? Do I have to wait for tomorrow? Do you know what? I'm not waiting for a competition. If I get disqualified because I started 2 hours early, that's fine. I want to do this for me, not for the competition. So how do we get to the cloud, right? Go to cloud, get started. How do we do it? Do we have to workspace? No? Well, what? So aren't I already doing it then? A little bit of confusion about what's going on here, maybe. Let me read it again. Manage, save, connect. 1 week, go. Click thing. See, it just sends me straight here again. Phase 0 complete. That's the bottom. Phase 1. Right, okay, so we can begin building alt video edit. Alt video edit. A new app. Execute the plan defined below. We've already done all of the work, so now it's like feed the machine and hit execute. It feels good. It feels good. And like I said, once this is finished, phase 1. Whoa! Ah, now this is the thing he was asking me about. Do you want to enable cloud? And I'm going to say, yeah! Let's enable cloud. What does that do? Wouldn't it be great if it basically enables a bunch of stuff and then I don't even need to code even more? Ah, that'd be great. Uh-oh, canvas timeline renderer. Uh-oh, what's that? Uh-oh, that's going to break everything. So what's it using? What's it using for that? Uh-oh, should have read the plan. No, it's all right. This is like phase 3. He's like, what you mean they didn't read Marvel phase 4? No. So, yeah, phase 3. So what's it based on? I want to know what it's based on. Is it based on that horrible canvas thing again? Or is it going to be based on the good one, which I used to make my planning app? Oh wait, what's this? Enabled AI, auto approve, always allow. I've enabled thing. Okay, he's gonna. Yeah, cool. No, you can just go straight plan. You use the chat though whenever you want to talk to him, which is very good. Did I scroll past it? No. So what are we using for the actual thing? Export service. Load video. Create video compositor. Feels like it should be on. Render video layers. Timeline editor component. It doesn't show him changing any of the the background stuff. You legend. He is going to do the... Oh, no way. Post effects nodes and the upscaling systems are here. Right, I'm burning my Convo credits. I don't care if he bans me for the next few hours. It said approaching. So we're going to proceed. Proceed to proceed. Just proceed. Oh, I think he might need a bit more than proceed. We want him to go do... Oh, I get it. He doesn't do phase 4 because I'll supply them. That's true, actually. I don't want him to just imagine new ones. I want him to extract my code from the comfy nodes that I already published. They're already battle proven. They already work. So I'd rather he just extracted my existing post effects code from those. I've done it before. I know it works. The upscaling system will be my 720i, 1080i, 720p to 1080i trick. So you get a doubling of size, but or rather it's a 1.5 upscale, but not really, because you just cheated and split the rows in half. But it is really good though. I don't need to proceed actually, this is finished. I mistook him. So phase 4 will be when I actually say, here's the code for my, noise over time node, which emulates a TV screen. So I don't actually need to do that. Okay. What's this one doing? Oh my god, he's nearly finished. Stupid. He's nearly finished. We're trying to get a Claude. When I was in the community meetings they were doing, I could see that everybody wanted the Sonnet 4.5 integration, It's kind of funny. But it's really good though. I was wondering how they were doing it because Qwen 3 Coda isn't as good as this. And if you use just ChatGPT on its own, it's not as good as this. And Gemini on its own, not as good as this. But when they use the two together, and that's basically what my brain architecture is doing. Everyone's going in the same direction. You end up with what I call a hybrid generative adversarial neural network that forms between the agents. So you have a generative model and you have an adversarial model that's like, no, that's a bad output, try again. And then you have a human in that loop as well, like a trinary system. If you were to take a slice of the brain function, that's essentially what every broadcast receiver is doing. How are we doing? Phase 1 complete. Kept you waiting, huh? Holy crap. No way. Look at that. What video do you want to make? Oh dear. What are we building now, eh? What are we building now, eh? This is going to be great. So I'm going to have my image prompt enhancer for doing the Gemini image enhancement, and then I'm going to have my video prompt enhancer for adding the temporal. We're going to use a runware, so it can use anything on runware API key, and then we'll use a image flash API key for this one, as far as I know. I would prefer to use a proper Nano Banana API though, because it's got more functions like size, control nets, it's more stuff. But this is nice. And then you have your AI assistant saying, ask me about video editing, prompts, creative ideas. So you have that on the side. So let me just make sure that, so this is a good example for people using Lovable for the first time. So once we've put our first plan in, he's finished it now. I'm going to hit the bookmark, right? So it saves that checkpoint. I can go back here real easy. If I screw up, I can come back here super easy. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go and hook it up to our GitHub so that it syncs all the changes instantly to GitHub. Super easy. Don't worry about the warning. I just go for it. Just go for it. So now it's on GitHub. I can look. It's private. Prompt Chameleon Lab. It's there. It's ready. I don't need to worry about any of that nonsense now. Okay. Okay. There we go. And then you can manage cloud with this button. That's a new thing. I've not even looked at that yet, so I don't know anything about it either. They just launched it yesterday, as far as I know. But this is the thing I wanted to point out. Click the chat button, right? So now we're chatting with Gemini, I think. And then GPT-5 is executing the plans. You see? I think we've figured out what it does now. So you can chat with the Gemini for, I think it might be free, actually. And then you pay per action with every plan you execute. And the thing is, I find that I'm only paying once to get something done. Because if it doesn't work, he keeps going until it gets done. And then I paid for that, not a billion tokens because he had trouble trying to put a button on the corner for an hour for no reason. You know what I mean? You don't end up paying for nonsense. You pay for objectives being met, right? Which is a really nice way to do it, and I got to applaud it because I bet they lose a bit of money on it. I don't know. But, oh, look at this. Analytics, codes, cloud, security, speed. Ooh, we got new stuff around. Oh, new stuff I can't go about. So I'm going to ask him quite simply, Have we completed? I think you might have already told me, but I'm going to say, have we completed phase 0, or are there steps remaining to complete? Question mark. Simple conversation with your developer. Did you actually finish that plan though? So he does say he's finished it, but I just want to make sure that when he says he's finished it, he means he's finished it. Okay, so let me just go back to my plan here. So I put a little report on there. So obviously this is a answer. So just going to indicate this is like part of the implementation. So I'm going to run that across the top like a little interface. Okay, so now we've got our prototype app, and so what did I say to him? I said move to phase 1, but he doesn't know what it is, so you got to be careful here. He can holographically, like how the image, like a video, you know how a video can just be extended? He can just extend your plan too, and we don't want him to do that. We want him to use our plan. So let me just double check what's here. Look, my suggestion. Look, see, he's realized that there's missing features. It's funny. Oh wait, no, hang on. Original, replaced with other lovable AI. Oh really? You cheeky bugger. Look at what he's done here. That's interesting. So it looks like he's trashed part of my plan to use the lovable cloud features, which is, it's not something I'm going to be like, oh no, stop it, you know, because actually, But here's the thing. Let's just sit back and just think about that for a second, right? He's trying to make it easy for me to develop this app so that I can use the in-account features like AI. There'll be an OpenAI bridge. There'll be a Gemini bridge. I'll be able to do stuff like that. That's great. For me, building my app today now, it's quick, blah, blah, blah. But I intend to deploy this as a web app with no sign-in. So I can't be building that stuff in like you can use it like that, because then it's charging me. So if I get 1,000 users all typed 10 times, I pay for that. Well, that's stupid. So with the idea of bring your own key is you bring your own key, which means that you pay for your use, yeah? Which is why we don't need to charge you. It's kind of like the beauty of zero data, yeah? You manage your data, you manage your access, and we just provide the front end. So it is literally, what do they call it? You're a platform. You know, like a telecommunications company, they provide a platform or a service, but they're what do they call it? What's the word? They're an operator, or they're not actually like a broadcaster, you know, they just provide the ability for communication. Anyway, whatever. I can't remember the name of it now. There's some kind of distinctive term for this. But yeah, he's basically saying it's actually finished. It's functionally complete. Right, but he replaced my, see, the plan specified Open Router with Sonnet 4.5, but what was implemented was Lovable AI Gateway with Gemini 2.5 Flash. So you got to watch out for sneakiness. Service provider, facilitator, provider. Yeah, exactly. You're a provider, not a publisher. That's it. You're a provider, not a publisher. As soon as you have like an account and everything's saved, and now you're publishing stuff and you get into all kinds of data stuff, but that's not what we're doing. Provide a platform where the user manages everything and we don't capture anything. No logs. So chat interface and UI components fully implemented. Chat store fully implemented. Streaming chat fully working. Prompt enhancement system implemented, because he's waiting for my system prompts for that. Design system implemented. Key deviations. Plan specified open router Claude Sonnet 4.5. What was implemented uses this. Significant difference. Separate prompt enhancer. This is built in but lacks an UI. Not implemented. Retried exponential back off. Jeez, okay. Comprehensive testing. No test files. API key management. Planning queue. Okay. So I need to chat with him some more now. Is my thing running? Test 1 2 3. There, yeah, it is. Okay, right. We're gonna have to start beating this guy down a little bit. Okay. Before moving on to phase 1, we need to make sure that the original plan is adhered to, as this is part of a multi-stage plan where I will supply you with each consecutive phase. Each plan is built with the knowledge of each previous plan having to be completed. So if you want to use additional features outside of the plan, such as Lovable API and all of these new features which they've got in their Lovable Cloud, that's fine, but those need to be made available only during development mode, so not during production, and we need to be implementing all of the original scope. So if you want to add this additional, we still need the OpenRouter API as a second provider, which we will switch to. So essentially now you need to make a step-by-step plan to enable both providers, Lovable Cloud and, at the user's option, the OpenRouter access, which was originally planned because we must ensure that all steps were adhered to before we can go to the next phase. Because otherwise it's like, you know what, I built the footings for the garage and you're not even going to put the walls up now? I'd get a new contractor. So there we go. I use Careless Whisper. If you're new, you can go ahead and get that on my GitHub. It's a lovely little local tool that uses OpenRouter Oro Llama models to record what you're saying and put it in the clipboard. And a bunch of other cool stuff. That's like scratching the surface of what it does. Yes, exactly, Dragon. Yes, Drift is not providing the service. He's facilitating access to service providers. Thank you, Dragon. That is the legal explanation. But that's how we achieve zero data. Because there is data, but it's not mine and I never see it. It goes to OpenRouter or whoever it is that you have an API agreement with. Therefore, I sidestep all GDPR and it's nothing, you know. Yeah. I found that to be more valuable than making money. Not losing money or getting sued is probably more advantageous. It's funny. So what do we got? Whoa. Okay, we need to copy this. This is actually pretty big. Whoa, look at him go. So if I'm going to copy that plan there and add it into my little feedback section here, because we're going to start just going up. That's crazy. That is crazy. I swear that's is that a helium balloon down there? Okay, right, so, okay, save that. You're absolutely correct, he says, and gives me a bunch of crazy. So yeah, if we actually look, I'm just going to say implement the plan, because that's what we're here to do. But let's have a look at what he's actually discovered here. Can we make this bigger? Yeah, we can make this bigger. Can we like, yeah. No, that's all. That's the best we can do. So it has a chat interface, the streaming responses, the message persistence, the basic chat state management, the prompt enhancement system, and the error handling. But it doesn't have everything I asked for. Like, a lot is missing, and it's because he dynamically decided for me that he's going to make me it all in Lovable Cloud, which is the point of the competition, by the way. But again, I love the competition, but I'm already here to build something I want to build. So I'll enter it, but I'm not going to limit my project based on... You know what I mean? It's like, well, we were going to make something cool, but the competition said only this tall, so we couldn't make it any bigger than that. So I thought maybe I'll just go for it. I bet they probably won't care. But anyway, if it works, I don't think anyone will care, right? So yeah, no open router, no Claude Sonnet integration, no dual API. Because remember, we need dual API anyway, because we're going to add runware for the video generation. Anyway, separate prompt enhancer, integrated inline only. See, that's important because you need a different prompt enhancer for images than you do for video. And I've got like a collection of like 50 of the damn things. So really, I want a preset system where I can have a drop-down menu and people can just pick it. And then it can just git clone the repo. Export, import, comprehensive, chat history, missing. Retry logic, doesn't really matter that much actually. If it fails, I'd rather just say it fails than just retry forever. Everyone always says that. How do you stop exponential retry or like, infinite retry loops? You say retry once and then give an error. You can give an error. You can just say it didn't work. It's okay. Anyway, testing suite, switching mechanism. Obviously, we need a way to switch because I do want to try out this new lovable code nonsense, right? It would be nice to have. And also, well, yeah, exactly. Step-by-step plan. So off he goes. He's going to create the provider system, implement the open router client service, create the abstraction layer, update edge functions. So there is Superbase, you cheeky bugger. That's the cloud integration. I'm just going to have to go with it, I think. I think I'm just going to have to go with it. I don't like it because it kind of cooks you into Superbase when you try to take your project away from the platform. Because ultimately, you shouldn't have to be locked in. You should be able to take your code and rebuild it, which is something I've proven with the brain. You just reinstall it with I cloned the GitHub. I did yarn install and yarn dev, and it worked. And I was like, okay, but that's because I didn't have any Superbase. Yeah, the thing about Superbase, it allows you to do Google sign-on and all kinds of different things. Really, really powerful stuff with databases and edge functions, okay? But it's also 10 times more complicated and you can mess it up. But anyway, so it's going to do all of that. Oh, it wants an open router key. Okay, give me a sec. I'll get you an open router key, my guy. I'll get you a deep research key. Oop. So what I don't like about that is this app is now cooked with my key. Because do you know what it wants? It wants me to make a sign-in. We might have to do it. We might have to do Google sign-in with this app, basically. I don't like doing it because it usually breaks or something goes wrong. And it's something to do with the implementation of the freaking sign-in provider, not you. Anyway, so if you have your sign-on, then the key I'm using right now is in my account. So that means that when somebody else logs in, they got to add their key and it's in their account. But then technically, where's that data? Am I now saving keys in databases? Now, I could say that it's Superbase, which it is. But are you a lawyer, though? Are you a lawyer, though? So it'll be all right for a demo. But see, what I do, I don't really want to provide you with a website where you pay credits for stuff. I actually want to provide you with a local tool that you can run on your machine with either local models or keys to APIs direct. Okay? So then you pay for what you pay for, and that is it. There's no, you know what I mean? No funny business. I'm not trying to make money off of you. That's not my goal. My goal is to add my optimizations into an app so it's not just image gen, you know? It's image gen with my enhancers that I spent months on, or image gen piped to video gen with my enhancers I spent months on. So then there's value added in the way that it's being done, not just because it is. But then it doesn't serve me to make money off of this, because really the liability is far, far greater than any amount of money you could actually earn from this. So, you know, you'd have to be a bit of a cowboy or have backing to do it properly. neither of which fit my case. You know, I suppose I could be a bit of a cowboy. I'm a bit more of a pirate than a cowboy, though, being on this side of the Atlantic. That's just the way it goes. But, you know, the way I look at it is, it's sort of like, I'm here to teach people how to do this stuff, and occasionally people hire me to build stuff for them. But at the same time, I just want to share my tools. We can already do all of this in Comfy, by the way. We can already do it all in Comfy. So, you know, if you've got Comfy UI, you can probably just put $5 and load the workflow I made last night, and it'll do exactly what we're doing here. The difference is it's in Comfy UI. It's not in a web page that you can just log into and just use. You see what I mean? And also, as I'm going to show you in just a few minutes, I'm going to make another coffee. As I'm going to show you in a couple of minutes, it doesn't end here, because we've done what I'm talking about. Everything I do is kind of like an experiment in the grand chain, you know? So like can we do that? Don't know. Let's make a little project to find out if we can do that. So then we've done it. Fernicar says, in other words, we learn it can be done outside of Comfy. Yeah, and done outside of Comfy in a way that's kind of user-friendly. Like, this user experience is friendly, you know? You say, I would like ducks crossing the road, and it's going to make an image of ducks crossing the road. It will be like nice. And then we'll say, make this, and it'll push it to the video. My idea is that in the settings, wherever that is, you get to define what enhancements being used and stuff. So it's like a preset pipeline, and then you say, make me ducks or something, and then it'll make the thing. It'll just go ahead and do all the stuff. Bring the video back, and then when you get it back, you have a video which is like, you're able to apply effects to it, upscale it, and then export it in either vertical or horizontal format. That's the idea. That's the concept for this app here. And then we put it in the competition, because it's like, bring your own keys. Maybe we like change it so it exploits their new cloud stuff, because that is the competition, isn't it? They want you to build stuff with their cloud. But it's got the option of the alternate providers. Okay. Right. It's time to blast some insects again. Can I find them? Where are my bugs at? Because you need more bugs in your life. More bugs in your life. If you don't have bugs in your life, you're not developing hard enough. Why make good software that always runs when you can break software and enjoy yourself? I'll be right back. I'm just going to go and check the plumbing, make another coffee, and then we're going to dive into 0 Vector 7 Olama, which is running. Oh, yes. extra protein in my coffee. Hey, why is it stopped? Oh. Oh. What's this? I cannot wait for the Amazon email and other add-ons for Comfy so I can run my entire life from it. Well, yeah, that's what they're all starting to do, actually. It's integration with rich services and providers, you know? All right. ZV7 Olama? Can I download a pizza in Comfy, though? Yes. I'm pretty sure you can. Just needs a couple of custom nodes. You could probably do it by text message or something. Get a Python node to send a text message and generate the message to send, and yeah, you could do it. I reckon you could do it. These are the stupid questions that we answer around here. So let's just move. We're moving over here real quick as we jump into the next thing. Is it running? It is running on Intern VL 3.5. Now I have moved, guys, so the audio is going to change just a little bit. What the? It ran out of video, guys. Here it is. And we want to do 0. And it's... What the? Which keyboard? Too many keyboards! And can we go like F11? F10? Why won't it do it? F? Window is failing. I swear that you just go browserless. My God, man. View. I can't believe I'm having to look for the button for this. Does it? I give up. I give up. You can see it, right? You can see it. It's just an annoying picture in picture mode right now. Okay. So here it is. It says 6 because it's a direct port, right? I took 0 Vector 6 Hollow. We downloaded it from Lovable. We installed it with yarn. Like I say, yarn install, yarn dev. Don't do npm, use yarn. That's something I learned. You use npm, it doesn't work. Use yarn, it works. I'm going to start using yarn more. So what we're going to do is take a look at the settings, because that's the obvious change. We have the open router selection and we have the Olama selection. And if we scroll down a little bit, we've got our connection is running. I've got my Olama is running. We've got the 11 labs for text to speech. We've got the perplexity for the search. I'll admit, I've lost the ability to change the voices at the moment. I don't know where those menus went. They've disappeared. Well, I'm sure we'll find them one day. Until then, though, we still have the bit that's important. Why is this right here? Go away. Right in the middle of the screen. So as you can see, we've got our main model, which is the inner thoughts. The selection is all of the models which I have on my local machine, and a couple which are just, you just get these. I don't have them. I don't know why. That they're there. So I think they're like trying to push their API as well. But anyway, and in fact, their API might be a nice solution for search, because at the moment I have to use Perplexity for Perplexity accounts, and if you don't have one of them, you don't get it, you know, which kind of sucks. But Olama have been going on about their new web search API, so it might be that we can offer an alternative provider for the web search function, right? Everything's supposed to be modular and agnostic, so you're not tied into anything. But as I say, I'm using frontal lobe, intern VL 3.5. Now, there is obviously a way to recode this so that it can use both providers at once. But why would I make my life that complicated out the gate, yeah? But I hope you can realize, it's just a bit of code, and you could have like, GPT-5 for something, and then use local models for everything else, and reduce costs a bit. But that's not the goal here. The goal is to show that you can have different models for different things. So instead of intern VL, in fact, no, I'm not going to do that. I've already proven it works. I put 2.5 VL 3 billion on my occipital, and then I had intern VL and another model. I think it was like Quen 3. I like mixed and matched, And what it does is it's slower, because there's a 30-second cold start time when you change models with Ollama. So if you use the same model for all of them, it will be a little bit quicker. So for the purpose of the demo, that's what I'm going to do. But you can change them to whatever you want. And remember, I'm running this on a laptop with 4 gigabytes of VRAM right now. Okay? We're going to use Roger. Everything's on. Holographic is good. So let's give it a baseline, which would be, and yes, the system prompt feature is also here. We're not going to use it. Okay. So I'm going to say, what is the latest model from OpenAI? Why? Because the knowledge cutoff will make it easy for us to determine whether this is actually working or not. I'm also not afraid. So I'm going to show you the live console errors, if there are any. Okay. They can go just behind me, and you could pause the video and scoop them if you want. Look at it go! Oh, baby! Ollama received a response propagating context wave from inner brain with amplitude 1 using model Belaifa. Intern VL 3.54 billion, attempt 1 of 3. Updating system metrics with state. Blah, 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 blah. Lots of thought waves are happening. Propagating reasoning wave from frontal lobe with amplitude 0.79. Generating natural speech summary. Using Belaifa. Oh, do I need to turn the volume up? Is he going to start talking? Remember, there's no... What? Oh no, they're both talking. Hey! Stop! Wait! Hang on! Chaos! There's no way you can hear it talking, is there? Because of the noise. Alright, so yeah, we'll just stop that. Cool. So he was just talking. He said, his answer was, hey there, I've got some exciting news about the newest AI model from OpenAI. It's called GPT-4, and it's definitely an upgrade from its predecessor, GPT-3. We didn't have web search on. Okay? So, take the question. Clear the chat, but not the memories. So now he has the memories of the old model names. Turn the search on and go again. Okay, I need to catch up with my thought waves. Oh my goodness. Major thought wave. Summary generated. Propagating temporal wave amplitude. So temporal is speech, listening. Oh my god. So much stuff. So many. Because he doesn't actually stop thinking. That's the beauty of the system. It's because it's wave-based, it's constantly broadcasting, and it uses listening to track time. Even though it's not listening for speech, it just has a mic open. So it doesn't really cost anything. Oh, there we go. Updated system holographic store state, active wave 6, 19 fragments, system coherence 0.99, emergent behavior 3, interference pattern 7. He's going to keep cooking until he comes up with an answer. See, thoughts emerge in this way, which is an interesting way of doing it. Rather than being tied to a linear async pipeline, which can go wrong. Oh, we got... what happened? Ollama provider completion error. Timeout of 30 seconds exceeded. Retrying. 2 of 3. Is it going to break? Come on. No, it's not breaking. It's just... connection error. Oh, wait, maybe it is breaking. I think there's a problem with the search. I'm sure it worked last night. I must have broken something myself, you know? So it will eventually... If it is broken, it will just fall back. It's got, whatchamacallit, degraded fallback. So... Or was it? Yeah. Graceful degradation. So it doesn't just fall over, you know? It falls over slowly and politely. You don't just smack his head against the floor, you know? It's like, it's more like a ballet. Graceful degradation. Yeah, it's continuing to time out on the search. Let's see if he can get out of it. He might actually have broken something here. Oh! Completion. Using model. I think it's getting stuck somewhere. Yeah. He's basically just getting stuck. Oh, that's a shame. Do you know what, though? The funny thing is, it's not actually stopping the system. He's only on attempt 2. Attempt 2 abort. I would show you, but there's settings where you can define how many retries he gets and things like that. So, attempt 3 of 3. It's going to fail. It's going to fail. The nice thing is, though, you can just conversationally say now, I need you to gracefully fall back. Look, see, it's still going to work. Whoa. The capital of France. I shredded his brain with a web search. He's completely forgotten what we were doing. Excellent. He's completely screwed it up. His answer actually does include the latest model from OpenAI is GPT-5. So he actually did get it. But for some reason, he shredded his own brain there. That's fun. Let's look at the cognitive trace. I don't believe I did ask. I said, yeah, I didn't ask that. User wants to know about the recent model by OpenAI. This query follows a previous query. No, it doesn't. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. But wait. Wait a minute. No, it's because I didn't flush the memory, isn't it? It's because I didn't flush the memory. It had stuff about France in the memory. So he holographically reconstructed. You know how the search failed? So because the search failed, he holographically reconstructed memory fragments about tasks where I asked him what the capital of France was. Yeah? So the memory works, but it's like he spurged out in a way. He was like, oh, I can't get the info. Just remember something. That was awesome. I actually really enjoy these experiments, you know what I mean? So yeah, look at that. Thinking steps, holographic fallback processing. Yeah, because the frontal lobe failed. Look, frontal lobe generated through holographic memory reconstruction. There it is. And now there is no memory, right? So he can't use that now. And I think it's all because the search provider isn't actually working properly. Let's do a clear and a no, we've done a flush. Done a flush and a clear. No web. No, screw it. I'll say web. What is the latest model from Anthropic? I think it's the web search that's doing it. Analyzing input. One wave. Yeah. One wave. Web search enabled. Searching for what is the latest Anthropic, right? But does it actually get a response? Yeah, it did. It worked that time. Huh? Okay, so now we got two waves. The reason I'm counting is the first wave is obviously inner thought. Second wave would be frontal lobe. And then we're going to get... It's going to continue from there if need be. There are two active waves. And there's no fragments, no nothing. Frontal lobe processing 1 of 3. Ah, Olama completion error. So there's something going on in the frontal lobe. I'm using the same model for everything. Preloading intern VL. Preloading Olama models for better performance. It's funny, I thought he was doing that anyway. That'd be really funny. I put in a fix and he only does it when he has problems. No. You're supposed to do that all the time. It's like detected problems. Still timing out. Preloaded successfully. Preloading completed. Okay. And then last attempt. He's failing to load the AI model right now. It's like when I have search on, it's breaking the pipeline somehow. Could be a problem with the occipital load blocking. Yeah, look at all that. I encountered an error. Yep, he gave me the error that says there's something wrong with my brain. So let's have a look at this. It's timed out. So Olama's timing out. Hang on. No! It's the same thing that happens every day, Twinkie. You need Twinkerbell for this one. So, okay. Do you remember when we've been running Comfy UI and making our image enhancements? And then Olama just stops working for some reason? Yeah, there's been an Olama update. We've got to restart Olama and update the... Yeah, see? So, yeah, that's why it stopped working. So remember it worked the first time? It worked the first time because there hadn't been an update yet. We did our first chat request and an update came through. And then everything after that point was being blocked because it wanted us to update Olama. That's a classic right there. So there's another thing. If you're using OpenAI, or OpenRouter for whatever, obviously there's a delay in the API request. But at least you know it's switched on and working. When you're doing Olama, you obviously have to check that your stuff is up to date and running yourself. So that's so good. Stone Sage says FBI has entered chat. Oh, they're always watching, my man. They're always watching. Yeah, the universe always does this near the end of the show. Exactly, yeah. It's like the last 10, 15 minutes of the show, everything will start to, like, collapse in on itself. It's fun. You can always predict it, you know? You can always predict it. So that was like a little bit of entropy biting us in the ass. But we've now got it open. Let's double check the app. Yeah, we got it open. All right. So now it should respond now, we would assume. So let's find out. I will... Huh. Wait a minute. This query follows a similar question asked by the same user at 10:41:20. What? Hold up. I just found an interesting fragment. Oh my god, that's a long fragment. I need to copy it out. See, the thing about fragments is they're not really stored in the same way. Yeah, fragments aren't really stored in the same way. Let me just tap that in there and see what we got here. Claude Sonnet 4.5. Wait, what? Wow. Okay, so even though it failed, you know how it failed? Because it didn't have any search? Actually, no, that's not right. The search was successful, but the LLM failed. And so the memory is just jammed full of the search results. So he's just remembered the search result. So if you look, he's even got citations of the websites that he was using to get the information for latest model by Anthropic. And he got the answer right, obviously, because it was a web search, right? He's even saying Claude Sonnet 4.5. That's today. It's today. How accurate is your research today? It's as good as today. All right, cool. So let's see if we can get it to actually work now. So I'm going to leave that memory fragment because I'm going to ask him the same question. We'll do a new chat, though. I encountered an error. In fact, no. I'm just going to repeat the question. And hopefully the API is actually up this time. He's been listening the whole time. Look at all of the listens. These are like heartbeats. There we go. Intent wave. Ooh. Using model 1 of 3. Come on, don't break. Yeah. I'm seeing, see, as soon as the thing comes on, now there are 3 waves. I think it's working now. Let's see if we get a timeout. Timeout? You son of a... Are you serious? Okay, maybe I need to fix something then. I'll always admit defeat if I broke something, but fragment count 4, active waves 3. Whoa, we got a tick there. And another block. Where'd the tick go? There. Olama response received. Searching the web. Uh-oh. We gotta let the brain pulse a little bit. Context wave. Using Olama again. 1 of 3. So it's got a whole bunch of stuff in there now. Is it going to time out again? See, it shouldn't be timing out all the time. Yeah, I take the search result as context. Yeah, so I think it's important to include. And then if he thinks it's worth remembering, he will. Because everything gets marked with like a either coherence or confidence. I think he's actually doing it. Still timing. I'm still getting timeout errors though. From Olama. I might just increase the timeout. Because it seems like it just needs more than 30 seconds. Like it does work now. Oh, you son of a... There's another timeout. That's the 3rd one. 3 of 3. He's not having fun, is he? Poor guy. Yeah. Yeah, and it makes it take forever because you're actually watching the whole process happening maybe 3 or 4 times as a result, because it's like you had the first attempt and then 3 retries. So it takes forever. And this is all because I put search on as well, by the way. But the search is working, because we saw the search go straight into the memory when the LLM was broken. Oh yeah, and he won't just read the memory out when the LLM's broken, or he shouldn't. He shouldn't. He should do this. Use a canned response. There's pre-programmed canned responses that get sent when things break down. That's like, you know, when it's super broken. It'll be like, check the API key. Look, it's still failed. That's a real shame. He seems pretty confident with his answer, but he won't give it to me. What's the answer, bloke? The answer is a memory dump combined with the web search. It's a memory dump and the web search. But what's he saying? He's still got the answer right. His brain is shredded right now, and he still gives the answer. As of September, they launched something called Claude 4.5 Sonnet. Companies like Apple and... I wonder why it's doing that with this. It's not shrinking things anymore. Strange. Companies like Apple and Meta use it internally, and it's also integrated into tools like Cursor and Replit. Tells me the pricing. Yeah. So even though it's broken, it still gave a good answer. The output shredded. Look, you can see the output is a complete mess. So it clearly broke, right? But because it has to summarize whatever this spurg is and turn it into something like naturally spoken, it's fine. It actually was fine. So it did do a web search. The web search did work. But the brain didn't work. The brain didn't work. And so it used the holographic fallback to reconstruct the memory combined with the search result to then give you an answer that wasn't garbage. Even though, look at this output. It's a mess. And the brain was like, yeah, it's Claude Sonnet 4.5, mate. Here you go. This is how people don't think like, you know, like I don't give you a Wikipedia page. I go, yeah, Superman's name's Kal-El. He's from Krypton. Green rocks, right? I don't go, here's the complete thing from Wikipedia, verbatim. So what we're doing is essentially, as part of the system, is that he'll speak naturally. And like I said, this is really funny because the web search was successful. The local model's failing. I'll fix that later. Don't worry about it. For some reason, it's got it's a 30-second timeout on the model loading, and so it's failing because it's taking longer than 30 seconds. But remember, I'm actually on a laptop with 4 gigabytes of RAM right now, running a 4 billion parameter AI model on my brain lobes. And when they failed, it used holographic reconstruction to give me the correct answer. Dude, the brain failed. It failed. The LLM broke. But using the search result combined with the holographic construction, it was still able to function. So that's why I know this is big and people are going to take this and use it. I won't be surprised that the wave parameters will be tweaked and improved upon and that you won't even see these. They'll get cooked into a preset that's for a use case. Because this is kind of like you can do anything with this. You can make him a conversational AI that remembers you, or you could make him like a creative writer or whatever. So, and it's very basic implementation at the moment. But it demonstrates that holographic memory works, and it isn't just viable, it's powerful. And then when you combine wave interference, you get rid of the async problems. See, even though it completely failed, it still worked, and I got the right answer. And this is why when I was like, okay, it's broken, but it gave the right answer. So I've got a broken clock that tells the time correctly all day. Not just twice a day. All day it will tell me the right time, even though it's a broken clock. Why? Because it's using holographic dials, you know? The gears are holographic. They just make themselves be correct to work. So this is like ultimate dynamism in programming. But anyway, I think we've probably said enough about this. Yeah. Click the button, click the button. Let's get back to this guy. Microphone, please. So I've got 4 minutes to see what we're going to do with this next. What are we doing? Dual provider system, he said. Dual provider? I don't even see one provider. Hang on, refresh. I mean, maybe the code's there, but the... import. What's the import for? Huh? JSON files. Oh, okay, so I can export my settings, I guess? Okay. Dual provider system. Lovable in development. Open router in production. Provider configuration. Settings panel for API key. Refresh. Control shift refresh. Nope. So if that's supposed to be something I can see, yeah, we're gonna have to. We can't do phase 1 yet. I cannot see the settings modal button if it even exists. We can ensure that the required user interface elements are exposed. Because obviously that's useless, isn't it? I've got an idea. We'll make an invisible UI. It's going to be so minimal, there won't be any buttons. And that's how I got hired at Microsoft. You see, what it does is it gauges your intent to make buttons appear or disappear on the screen. Oh, to be sure, zoom in or zoom out. Good idea, mate. No, he just didn't do it yet. I thought about it. Let me examine it. I can see it's not imported and it's not rendered. Component exists, but it's not being used. Blah, 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 blah. Missing button. Missing button. So we got buttons missing. Please add the buttons. I hope you can read fast. But yeah, basic. It just said, please add the buttons. Okay. Yeah, the fallback, just need to rewrite the output when falling back. Exactly, yeah, it's just honest. Remember when I said the other day, like a lot of the time I'll bring out a thing and it's like there's a point to what I'm trying to build on it. And if I wanted to be like absolutely precision perfect, I'd be developing that thing for a month. Because there's always stuff like, oh, it screwed up the formatting of X on page Y, or oh, when you click this one button and also upload an image, you know what I mean? And what I try to do is build off of lessons learned. Hang on, let's just make sure he's finished. No, he hasn't. There we go, he broke it. See, I tried to build off of lessons learned in the next project, and then we kind of roll up everything we learned as we go. And normally I don't like to do so much mucking about in the phase 0, by the way. We should have just been able to go straight to phase 1, but because he automatically made it like super base lovable Claude without asking me, which I'm okay with, because I would have had to find out how to do that myself anyway. It was on the plan, but not in a way that I could, you know, because I don't know. I don't know how their system they just brought out today works, but he does. He does. He can read it all. Hey, look, we've got a settings button. Right, cool. Let's have a look at this. So development mode is using lovable Claude. Test. Connection successful. Open router API. So I can put it in open router API and I can give it a key. Come on, key. Put my key in there and we can test it. It's successful. Okay, the model list is just hard coded right now. So I can't actually pick a good model, but that's something I can come back to. So, oh, Lovable or open router? Lovable, open router. So I can, yeah, so in development I can choose which one I want. Save button? No save button. We like that. Just close it to save it. I don't like this though. This is the only thing I don't like about browser storage. You save it with no username against this address, but then how many do you know what I mean? You can't just save it as a password for that address because you've got multiple codes. But anyway, whatever. I'm not gonna get silly. We've got an import, no export. Oh, wait a minute. This said import JSON, but I'm pretty sure that's for importing videos and images. It's supposed to be import videos, images, and audio for the video section, right? Okay, so look, I appreciate I don't have like the proper full list, but that's just like, please list the models at OpenRouter and put them in my drop-down list to populate the user preference selection. It's pretty easy to ask for that. So I'm not even going to bother, making live model list yet, because that's like, I know that's an easy thing. I can do it anytime. It's low priority, as they say. So we're ready for phase 1. Finally. And I'll update the log as well with what happened. So we click on there, click on the copy button, back here into chat, and I'll say we are ready to start phase 1. I will supply the plan. Tell me when you are ready. Because there have been some changes. I wouldn't just shove it straight in, because there have been some changes, right? You know, there's this whole lovable cloud stuff which I didn't know about, and that introduces some noise to the shape. So obviously the plan is not rigidly followed. It is still a holographic projection, and if we move some of those projection points, I guess... God, I just realized something. We could be projecting onto a non-uniform surface, and that changes everything. I need to stay away from that idea right now. It's too much, even for me. Because I think you can understand that if you've got a hologram and you're projecting it into latent space, we're assuming that the shape of latent space is uniform. What if it's not, though? It's probably not, though. There's probably pockets and areas which are denser or stick up, or if you're going to express it as a 2D plane of frequency, it's probably not uniform. I would imagine it's going to be noisy, so it's going to have a topography to it, and that would affect the sharpness of the projection. So we're talking about latent space shapes, because I do think it is the proper way to describe what's going on. If you've ever had the shape of an idea in your head that was complex and required time to really understand, I think that would be a comparable mechanism, a parallel, if you will. Okay. Technical approach: index DB, local image storage, blob, object URLs, a stand, TypeScript, responsive grid for modal viewing, yes. Start with type definitions, implement state gallery, That's interesting. Image generation and gallery is what I had down as phase 1. It's alright. So that would be user enhanced prompt image generator, image generation service, OpenRouter and Runware. Well, to be fair, Runware has more models than OpenRouter does, so it would be a better way to do it, actually. That's true. You could use Seedance as well, and Seedream. Anyway, blob response, gallery store, local file system save. Oh yeah, that's right. I need to copy those bits from from up there. So the last thing I posted was implement the plan. Was switch to open router for production. Switch to open router for production. Ah, yes, I asked him to check. Architecture deviation. So yeah, there was a big sort of deal with the whole examine it, dual provider, lovable and plus open router. So I think that's this one here that we're looking at now. Mostly complete with key deviations. Right, so I could have sworn that was the first one. Nope. Nope. Okay. I mean, sure. It's going to be another green then. Yeah. Because the thing is, I do think it's important that it can be reproduced. Do you know what I mean? It's not enough to just be like, oh yeah, I followed this plan. Because there's all these different micro decisions that get made in the course of building it. And if you can't keep an accurate note of them, it's not an accurate plan, is it? It's not an accurate log of what happened at all. You've just got sort of like, oh, I followed this plan, here you go. And even though that is enough to get it done, it doesn't really reflect what was done. You know, the undertaking was far more complex than what is being led to believe, yeah? So, like, you know, it's nice to be able to go, hey, look at this, it was really easy. But it's kind of dishonest. And it's used by people who don't understand what this is as ammunition. Which is kind of funny. It's like using the description of the blind to convict. Like a visual description from a blind man. No offense if you're blind or visually impaired. I just mean, you know, we could use a different analogy if we wanted to, but I just mean if you don't know what's happening, you can't really tell anyone what's wrong, can you? Well, I don't know. So we added that, and then we did another bit, and we did another bit. So I'm not copying everything, I'm just copying the landmarks. My God. So it's like I go, oh, it's just a 4-phase plan, guys, super easy. And then you actually look at what it actually is, though, and it's like an iceberg of micro decisions and nudging it in the right direction here and telling it not that, this, here, there, and implement the plan. Implement the plan. Implement the plan. Go ahead and share the phase 1. Right, finally. So then this would be the final. Go ahead and implement the plan. The nice thing about this nested markup language is you can indicate the order of things with this. It's a very simple system. Just mark down pages as nodes linked with connections. Very, very, very simple. And like I said, I'll be able to do a log for each phase of the plan going up like this. And, oh yeah, that was a point. We wanted to see if it was possible to machine read one of these things. Let's ask Sonnet 4. I think I downloaded one so we could look at it earlier. It was like quite large. Let's have a look and see if we can attach it. So 0 vector. No, I'm looking for an NML file. NML. And there's a little trick with NML files. I didn't download it. Right, hang on. My God, if only you could see that Alt-Tab menu. It is too big. All right. What I want to do is go to my NML folder. I'm always going there, and I can never find the damn thing. It's gone again. It's like every time I go there, it's... Oh, here we go, found it. 0 vector 5 hollow. Yeah, that's the one. It's not even that. It's 0 vector 6. Yeah, 0 vector 6 hollow. Is that the latest one, though? Oh, there's only one in there. That's not good. It's probably out of date. Oh, well, whatever. It is what it is, right? So we're going to attach one of these bad boys, but there's something I need to do first, because I bet it... In fact, let's try it without changing first. Maybe he's smart enough now. So, where'd it go? Where's the file? Oh, I get it. Yeah, he can't see it. Okay, right. Hang on. This is what I was trying to say is the trick, or a trick. If I go into my downloads folder, these NML files, that's a file format that I made up. It doesn't exist. I made it up. I wrote the spec for it, and it has a spec, and it is real, but it's XML. Okay? What are you doing? My Windows is having fun because I renamed an extension. Come on, mate. What just happened? Okay, so normally this doesn't happen, but he's trying to embarrass me at the end of the show. Look, Windows, you're trash. Nobody likes you. Right, you ready to crash the next one? Doing the same thing? Let's go again. Oh, look, it changed. So he crashed. We just for the record, we just crashed Windows Explorer Live by changing a file extension to .xml, just in case anyone needs another reason to go to Linux. All right. Okay. We have our file now. And the reason we changed that is because NML is not recognized as an ingressible or ingestible or readable format, but it is just an XML file. The only difference is it's got things like, position of where they go and stuff. But I reckon he'll just ignore that. I reckon he'll be like, oh, that's just a load of nonsense. I don't care about any of that. Here. My God. When you can't find the chat. Here it is. Okay. It was there all along. So we're going to take... You still... What, he can't read XML? I don't believe you, Claude. So full of it. So full of it. This guy, man. See? He can read it. It's only 12,000 lines, though. That might be a problem. Okay. Please. This is crazy. It's about 57 pages of coding. So I'm going to say, please summarize this document. There ain't no way. Yeah. Oh, it seems like a conversation. Initial conversation about mixture of lobes, discussion of holographic brain theory, wave-based thought, development plans for different versions, technical implementation, user documentation. Early pages discuss cognitive architecture concept, uses specialized lobes for mimicking brain regions, wave propagation thermodynamic principle, holographic consciousness concept, transcript discussing... Oh, I've run out. I just I hit the limit. He was like, what are you doing? Claude goes bump in the night. Memory distributed throughout brain, not localized. Fourier transforms, interference patterns. ZV6 hollow development plan, holographic enhancement layer, wave mechanics implementation, memory fragment systems. It's all there. Enhanced audio and visual processing, wave mechanics. holographic memory explanation for users. System represents a groundbreaking approach to cognitive architecture, transforming traditional computational models into a dynamic wave-based simulation of neural processing. By integrating holographic principles, ZV6 creates a more fluid distributed intelligence framework that mimics complex brain functionality. Evolutionary path from 5 to 6 demonstrates sophisticated progression in artificial cognitive design, moving beyond static computational models to a more organic adaptive system that can process information through wave interference and distributed memory patterns. But could it be better? Yes, it just came out yesterday. Mixture of lobes, which explains that. Revolutionary addition, holographic brain theory implementation. Works. Information stored as distributed fragments across all regions. Wave interference patterns create emergent insights. Memory reconstruction possible from partial information. And there we have traditional cognitive architecture. ZV Lite is the fallback. ZV6 Holo, that's the current system. ZV7 is Holo running locally with Olama. We tried to show that earlier, but I got a little bit obsessed with showing how it was broken, which isn't the best demo, but I hope you'll appreciate that it worked first time, and then when I started screwing around is when it broke, which I think is acceptable, because if you don't screw around, it's fine. I think that should be how it is, though. You know, if you have a tool and it has a bunch of parameters, those parameters, it should be possible to break it. Otherwise, I'm putting limits on how it can be used, and I don't know how it can be used, you know? So it's pointless to put limits on it. If it breaks, it breaks. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. It's just, that's what happens. You know, if I drop my mug, guess what? Stuff's gonna smash. Oh no! I dropped the steak sauce! I dropped the steak sauce today in the supermarket. It was bad. It was glass. And it was Jack Daniels with honey. And it went everywhere. And I told the staff about it, and they didn't seem to care. It's like, nobody's going to come and... Okay. I was like, do you want me to pay for it? And they were like, nah. It was like totally nonchalant. Anyway. My bad. It's the first time I've done that as well. I was like, what happened? What happened? Anyway. So bring your own key. Perfection. It's working. I love it. So he can't do much more. I think I have, you know, I've hit my limit with Claude now. But he did what I asked him to do, though. He did do it. He's just taken my entire development plan log and turned it into something which I could write an essay off the back of this. Obviously, I'm not gonna, but I'd show you how I would do it. I would take a copy of that, and then I would get rid of this. And I'd already got not Roy, not Old English, Uno non-fiction, narrative operator non-fiction. Now it's not going to work because I've run out of credits, but I can show you how I do it. So I'd paste that in, and then I'd say at the top, we can, what was it? I should probably do deep research on it first, but we can write, what was it? We can use Uno NF to migrate this summary to long form essay style. Just like that. That'll do it. And now he'll say, you ain't got no you ain't got no credits, Johnson. But that's okay, I got loads of credits. I just got to go on the API and pay for them. That's really what that message says, by the way. That message doesn't really say, oh, you've used all your credits. What it says is, please start paying for the API now. Because he knows that's what I'm going to do. Everything is up to date and tickety-boom. Tickety-boom. So how are we doing over here? Oh yeah, that's the online version. That all works great. We got an amazing piece about Kojima out of this. If I just export that, I get to keep my audio. See, the funny thing is, if I was a content factory, I could be pumping out video essays like you don't even know, because all my audio is just like coming out the same. Just all coming out the same, with complete scripts and everything. All it would be is now pairing it with content, you know, like video. But if you look at some channels, all they do is they show you an image which moves a little bit, it pans a bit, and then every 30 seconds you get a new image. That's the cheapest way to do it, you know. And then what you end up with is a template which looks complicated, but it's really the same thing with different images every time. So you end up with like an algorithm, you could even say. But whatever. So this one I need to save. Let's just double check what we're doing here. Failed to process. What happened? And we're going to end where we started. Thank you very much, everybody. That's the end of the show. We're pretty much done. I should have ended the show like 22 minutes ago. It's now nearly 11:30, but I just stop when I feel like it, really. But thank you very much for watching. We'll be back tomorrow at 8 p.m. Same time, same place. Watch out for pings just in case something happens to me. But otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. And I'll see you all next time.
Sonnet, WM deal.